We are live. Finally, ready. We are live. Very well. We've got an image, and I hope we've got audio as well. Let us begin. Shabbat Shalom, my most esteemed friends, honorable judges, LVE tribe, as well as everyone accompanying us. On this rather precious and heated day of Shabbat from California, the United States of North America, today is the 1st of Sivan. We have entered into the month of Sivan, the third month of the year 5993 from creation, corresponding to June 8 of 2024, and we shall study yet another chapter of this rather absolutely praiseworthy and magnificent wisdom and discipline, or rather Chokhmah and Musar, part 20, with a title that's tremendously enigmatic. Can we change the apocalypse? Part 3. Today we are in the countdown of the Omer. Today's the last day of week 6, the 42nd day of the 6th week. When the sun goes down, we'll go into the last week, week 7, until we arrive at the following Shabbat, and the sun goes down, and we enter into Shavuot. The following Shabbat, as a preamble to Shavuot, we'll have a very special, rather spectacular subject, something which I always propose myself to do, to never speak again. And when I least expect it, it's stronger than I am. Like the Godfather said, when I think I am out, they pull me back in. And in this case, he pulls me back in to once again. And there, I will talk to you about a date next Shabbat. That's all I'll say, because it's very interesting. But we shall begin with this subject. Without any further ado, let us seek our Elohim. Beloved Yahweh, we give you thanks for this rather precious day of Shabbat that you give us. We give you thanks for all the wisdom that emanates from you, this whole river of wisdom that only some have ears to hear and comprehend. I ask you that we may comprehend the written things by you through men, an encrypted message, an occult message, but that arrives directly to your children. All this I thank you for in your precious name, Yahweh Sabaoth. Alleluia. First anything, I'd like to ask you to excuse us for getting here late. We had to help somebody do something, and so that's why we're a bit heated. We were in the sun right now, but oh well. We're already done with what we had to do, so we started a little late. Please apologize. I do apologize for getting here late, but there's more anticipation, so it gets even more beautiful. So then it's a very special subject, and today with things that are rather fabulous. And I need you to pay attention. I need you to, after listening to me live during the week, when you have time, to once again review this subject. There are things which the mind doesn't really grasp because you stay there thinking about something and you see the beauty or how difficult something is, and you miss out on other things because I speak too fast. There's lots of information. And also I love your comments. So then I'll ask you to, when the subject ends, to watch it again and to comment what has happened, what you thought about this new chapter of wisdom and discipline. Very well. Before anything else, before the birthdays, I'll show some presents that arrived this week. They're spectacular. This one that came from Miguel Angel, from Monica and Alexia. We got the surprise package, rather, which is a Monopoly. It's a Monopoly in English, but it's not just any Monopoly, mind you. It is the Monopoly of the 2022 World Champion Argentina and Qatar. So then it's rather fantastic. It's a limited edition of Argentina as champion. Spectacular. Many, many thanks, Miguel Angel, Monica, and Alexia. Many thanks. Spectacular, rather. And We have not opened it yet, but it really looks spectacular. Excellent. And I also have another gift from Saeed, which was absolutely kind. Sent us another cheese. I mean, it's exquisite, this cheese as well. With this, we are covered. I think for the rest of the year, at least till Tabernacles, we are covered. We are covered because since this cheese arrived, it's the only one that we eat. For the foods that have hard cheese that go with it, it's an absolute delight. Spectacular. Many, many things. It is an Argentinian cheese made for Brazil. It's the Brazilian edition, but made in Argentina. Spectacular. Rather fantastic. Of the Argentinian brethren in Brazil. Spectacular. Said. Thank you very much. It didn't say that it was Said, but we imagined that it was him. So then, many, many thanks. Very well. Let us begin this week. We'd like to congratulate the following members of the Eternal Truth that have had a birthday. Jason Pinto, Colombia. Norma Yolanda Alvarado, Guatemala. Manuel Perez Angel, Chile. Milena Hernandez, Colombia. Santiago Vasquez Rodriguez, Spain. Abigail Ramirez Rios, Argentina. Cadmiel Esparza, Mexico. Jose Espinal, the Dominican Republic. Marco Antonio Herrera Diaz, Peru. And Angelica Duque Rubio, Spain. To each and every one of you, a great big hug, many blessings, and may it be the very last birthday under this government, which is guided by Babylon. That is our wish. So then a great big hug on behalf of all of us. I hope that you can hear me well. I didn't ask. I didn't see if you answered. Last greeting, the questions that you already know. The new that we're adding for people that we believe that are already don't care about the message of the Eternal Truth anymore. So then we send them a last friendly greeting. And if it wasn't this way, you have to let me know or let Gabriel Heyer, who is in charge of adding these people on this list, just so that we can know if you're still with us or not anymore. I'll mention you this way. Laura Rivera, the US of A. Luciano Rubano, Uruguay. Ingrid Garcia Fernandez, Costa Rica. And Luis Enrique Calvache Munoz, Colombia. With Luis Enrique, even though he's a member of the Eternal Truth, it's been years that we have no communication with him. I've seen certain public postings of his that if you were to not have to analyze too to depth, they're a bit kind of against, per se, of the Eternal Truth. Things, per se, that kind of special messages. If this isn't so, and if some of you that I've mentioned is still in the Eternal Truth, please report. If you still believe, not just listening, that you don't care about anything, if you still believing, because you're not posting anything, there's nothing from you, and if it isn't so, then we send you great congratulations for your birthday, and until we meet again. Very well. I'd like to announce that there was a baptism in the name of Yeshua this week, and the baptism was from Ainara Salas. She was baptized. She was baptized by her own mother, Andrea. So then, welcome. She was already a member, obviously. She was born in the Eternal Truth, but she fulfilled with what Yeshua, who was Yahweh, commanded to do a special rite, which was significance to the future. But we do it, and we love it. So then, welcome to the Eternal Truth, although she was already a member of the Eternal Truth, Ainara Salas. Very, very well. I just remind you real quick that if somebody's going through some sort of conflict, we have a free consult, which is Angelina's consult. You can all write to her. You can DM her in her Facebook timeline. You can DM her to her Facebook. If you don't know her, you've never heard of her, you can write to her, and you should take advantage of this service, which is absolutely free, which is we offer to every one of you, whether you are from the Eternal Truth or not. We're 1 week away from Shavuot. What an emotion to have Shemah Israel, YHWH Eloheinu, YHWH Ekhad. This is the base, and the golden key that opens the keys of the concealed scripture. At least it opens a door to be able to investigate even more. If you don't have this key, it means to understand absolutely nothing from scripture. If you think that God has a son that he sent to earth, if you think that God has a son that will return to earth, if you think that they are three, and to top it off, there's a third one that's the Holy Spirit, and all three work together, and it's three beings and all the rest, you could never understand anything. It's all fine, whatever you understand and believe. It might help you, make you a better person. I mean, maybe, sometimes not even that. But it doesn't help you to understand the secrets the scripture has. The scripture is plagued with secrets. The scripture is concealed and closed completely. And since it is closed, you need at least the first key. And that first key is fundamental, and you need it. It is called, Hear, O Israel, Yahweh, our Elohim, our God, Yahweh is one alone. One alone. Okay, so then who came alone? Why did he say that it was him? Because it's a parable. He said, I speak in parables. Everything that I say is a great parable. Very well. Proverbs 25:2. It is the glory of Elohim to conceal the word. Yet the glory of the king and those who will be a part of the kingdom and government of the Mashiach is to search out, is to enter, is to open, break, to penetrate the covers that the scriptures have. Jeremiah 16:19-21, everyone will say this, Yahweh, my strength and my fortress, unto thee shall come the peoples from the ends of the earth and shall say. What will everyone say? Everyone. Jewish people, Christian people, Islamic people, pagan people, indigenous people, African people, Oriental people, everyone. What will they say? Only lies was the inheritance of our fathers, vanity to which there is no avail. If it is man that makes himself gods, then they are not gods. That is why, behold, I shall make it be known. I shall show you the strength of my name, and you shall know that my name is Yahweh. They will know that there is only one Elohim. The Creator, only one Creator. I'll read this text, even though we're a bit behind to it, but forget it. Think that it's regular hour. Amos 3:6-8, Jerusalem 2001. Does the sound in a city and the people do not go into distress? Does a disgrace or an evil go unto a city without it having been provoked by Yahweh? Not allowed, but provoked, because Yahweh provokes evil, like I've already told you. We would be a lot more people, a lot better people, if Yahweh would not provoke evil, but he does it with a motive. I am not even criticizing him. He does it with a motive, with the motive of creation. And it takes a stage. It is a stage. Going past that stage, things change. But Yahweh is the God of good and the God of evil. No, I was going to say nothing. Nothing does Yahweh do without revealing his secret to his servants, the prophets. If the lion roar, who shall not fear? The Lord Yahweh speaketh, who shall not prophesy? And today, I shall reveal something that even up until last week, I personally didn't understand. And it's those things that one does not comprehend. I could leave it like that, but I could teach it. For some maybe, which do not really grasp my words. It is completely a waste of, what's the word? No. The word I was looking, of arrogance. It is just pouring out with arrogance. Some might say there's no need to say that. No, yes. There is a need to say it, because I didn't comprehend it. And once I comprehended it, I said, but I mean, how did I not see this before? I said it so many times I didn't see it before. I mean, I mentioned it and even explained it, that if I were to listen to myself, I should understand it, and that no, I didn't understand it. So then I confess that up until the end of last Shabbat's study of can we change the Apocalypse Part 2? I still had not understood this text to the depth that I had to understand it. I did not understand it. And today, my intention is that without any room for doubt, every one of you understands it. Why didn't I understand it? I have to say, Yahweh didn't allow me to understand it. Because everything takes a time. Because when the time is fulfilled and when it is necessary, we have to understand it. Here, there's no arrogance, no pride. We have to understand it. So then, what is the text? And for that reason, all the characters are here. There's many more. I wanted to leave some here in representation. There's more than these. And this time I'm going to ask the characters here to look at me. We have King Kong. We have the shark, Eddie, in representation of all the Eddies there. We have Eddie, and we have the original octopus with one of his babies here. Everyone is upset. Everyone looking at me. They were always looking and asking for something. What were they asking? No representation of all this beings here. What were they asking for? Where is the Elohim of justice? How many times did we ask, where is the Elohim of justice? And of course, what do you understand by where is the Elohim of justice? I'll tell you what I understood, which I believe that is what all of you understood. Until something happened. What I understood until last Shabbat, until the preaching and everything, every time I placed all these characters here, with these plushies here, which are parable, I understood where is Yahweh Sebaot, who has to do justice. Where is his justice? Because he always shows us the injustice face. When I would say, where's the Elohim of justice? That Elohim was, where is Yahweh Sebaot, the Elohim of justice, to show his face one already. What's he doing? Drinking with the beast? Where is he? Is he sleeping? Is he taking a nap? Is he working in a different project? Is he bored? Did he forget? Where is the Elohim of justice? That has always been my question. Always every one of them would ask, demanding of him, where is the Elohim of justice? But since I have explained to you to what is that answer to, because that answer is one from Elohim based on a generalized demand from Israel, because obviously this is a prophecy, but so that we understand it, he causes for the people, in other words the entire world, to ask, where is the Elohim of justice? Why is there so much injustice? Why does God the Creator does not show up who is the God of justice? And all the Christian and Jewish world believes that God is the God of justice, when they are absolutely wrong. He is not the God of justice. He is way far away from good and evil. He is the God of evil. He's the God of good. He's the God of justice and the God of injustice. He is the God creator of everything. He's way past of a specific title, the Elohim of justice. It goes way past that. He is not the one that is in charge of doing justice according to the scriptures. Not according to what I think, it's according to what is written. Because he will tell us. And so then I had not understood this, and I've explained this to you many, many times ago, and that's why we have this question, that the answer to the question of the people, where is the Elohim of justice? He gives the answer. And not even then explaining it had I understood it. Not even then. It was right in front of my eyes, and I would not understand it, as if they were telling me a joke and I have all the elements to understand it, wouldn't understand it. I didn't get it. That's how you say it, right? I didn't. No, I don't. I didn't get it. I didn't understand it, and I didn't understand it, and I explained it. I should have understood it, but there was a blockage in my mind, and didn't understand it until after the preaching. Leslie tells me, did you see what I posted on Facebook? No, I said, what did you post? I said, I posted it. If you don't like it, I'll delete it, but I posted it. What did you post? Just precisely Miguel Angel instance, and since you encourage, what do you mean encourage? No, encourage. Come on, tell me what encourages. los motivos. You encourage everyone to write, where is the Elohim of justice? Where is the Elohim of justice? You put all your friends, where is the Elohim of justice? You look at me kind of weird. Quiet. Careful, all of you. I'm going to answer. Where is the Elohim of justice? So then Leslie, before the Elohim, since we all included, where is the Elohim of justice? Where is it? Because that is what we understand. Where are you, Yahweh? And also in a post of Gabriel, Leslie commented something great that I had to read it. I understood it in a nanosecond, like the NASA physicists say in the nanoseconds, saying that all the technology, we would go back in a nanosecond to the moon if we couldn't come back, not even in 500 years, but in a nanosecond I read that and I understood everything. I said, but what an idiot. That was the expression. What an idiot. How did I not see this before? That's what happens to you always. When I read it from Gabriel and Miguel Angel, I said, here. And that, no, some of you understood it, and others didn't. Others did not understand it. That, no, kind of like, they were kind of like, Others understood it quickly, like that. Leslie added, here is the Elohim of justice. And a girl dropping a mic, like Obama, and dropping it. I'm not going to grab my mic because I'm going to have to ask for money again, and I'm not going to drop this mic. It's so expensive, but it'd be good to grab this mic and drop it. Where is the Elohim of justice? Here's the Elohim of justice. And drop the mic. Drop the mic. Exactly. Completely great and awesome by direct inspiration by Yahweh onto Leslie, and that is where the quarter fell in, as you say in Mexico. That's where the chip fell, that with Yahweh, as it is said in Argentina, that Yahweh answers that question saying, here I say, send you my angel, my servant Elijah. Here I send it to you. But I understood, having explained that, no, I understood that Yahweh sends you Elijah to make you understand that at a certain point in time, the justice of Yahweh would show up. I understood it like that, like an idiot. But Yahweh, it was not Yahweh's end to understand that. He says, where is the Elohim of justice? You ask, where is the Elohim of justice? And he says, well, here I send you the Elohim of justice. That's the answer. There's no other answer. Let us not wait to see another justice of Yahweh, because there won't be. Because he's way past justice. He is the creator, and he is way superior to justice, injustice, or wickedness, or kindness. Very much superior. We want Yahweh come and do such, who's going to do justice on earth. The Elohim of justice will do justice on earth, not Yahweh. Because if Yahweh will do justice on earth, then we would see the Catholic or Christian Jewish groups. Exactly. He comes to justice. Says, you want justice? Okay, I come, and my justice is called the great day of the wrath of Yahweh. That's the one you want. Where is the day of the wrath? Where is the day of Yahweh? He says, are you sure you want my justice? Because that'll be my justice. I have done justice back in the time of Noah. You want another one? That is my day of justice. Or do you really want an Elohim of justice? But the scriptures is very clear. So then the great message from Leslie was to fall to the ground and to hit against the wall and say, wow, I had it right there and I didn't see it. That's the way it is. So then let us read Malachi 2:17, and precisely this subject started in 2:17 when Yahweh did justice back in the time of Noah, in another 2:17, and in a 2:17 it started. Can we change the apocalypse? Malachi 2:17, what does Yahweh say? Ye have wearied Yahweh, and Yahweh is tired, sick and tired with your words, and ye say, in what have we weird him? In that you said that whoever doth evil pleaseth Yahweh, and that is true. It's there. It's an affirmation by Yahweh. It's Yahweh's affirmation, which is most dissonant. That whomever doth evil pleaseth Yahweh. How does he affirm it? You see it. Who has the power? Those who do evil. And the beast was given power. Who gave it power? It was given power, but who has power to give the power? The power was given unto the beast, but it is concealed. So then it says, then whomever doeth evil pleaseth Yahweh, and in such he delighteth. Exactly. That is all true. Or else, where is the Elohim of justice? Where is the Elohim of justice? Where is he? Then Yahweh answers immediately in the very same chapter, because the Christian Bibles divide the chapter of Malachi 3 and Malachi 4. In the Jewish Bibles, it is not divided, because the answer of Yahweh is immediate to the question of the people, where is the Elohim of justice? Because we see that you are pleased with the evil men. So then if you see and you start to put two and two together, Israel is not asking for Yahweh to do justice. And what Yahweh says, they're not asking that. They're asking for Yahweh to send them another person that is just. Because what Yahweh is, he is an Elohim of everything in justice and everything. So then he's saying, you are pleased with evil. When will you send someone that is pleased with good? Do you understand? Okay, well. Malachi, the answer is immediate. Malachi 3, 1, 2, 3 says, textual Bible, behold, I send my messenger. Where is the Elohim of justice? And Yahweh answers, behold, I send my messenger. Behold, I send my messenger. I had not understood it until I saw Leslie's image, obviously. Who is the Elohim of justice? He is the Elohim of justice. And what in the Bible will clarify this in other places in a phenomenal way. Behold, I send my messenger. It is the same thing as to say, behold, I send my Elohim of justice, which shall prepare the way before me. I will come. He'll prepare him. He doesn't prepare him, I'll come to destroy. We see that in the last text. Who will prepare the way before me, and he will come to his home. It doesn't say temple, it says home. There's specific words for temple. In the Spanish RV 1960, it says it's temple. Oh, Jehovah will come to his temple. No, it's not talking about that. It's talking about the messenger of Yahweh, which actually has the title also of the Elohim of justice. And he will come suddenly to his home, the Lord. What does he call him? The Lord. And the Lord is not Yahweh, but rather it is the Lord of justice. And the Lord will come to his home, whom you seek. Whom were the people seeking? I want you to understand that. What were they looking for? They were looking for an Elohim of justice, because the Elohim that they knew was the Elohim of injustice. Precisely, it says, you are pleased with the evil men and give power to the evil men. And then they ask, okay, and where is the Elohim of justice? An Elohim of justice exists. He exists. So then Yahweh says, okay, I'll answer. Behold, I send my messenger. Is this Elohim of justice? And will come soon unto his home. He comes to his home. He will do a work, the Lord on which ye seek. Whom ye seek. Whom are they seeking? The Elohim of justice. Whom do all of you seek? The Elohim of justice. And who was to appear? The Elohim of justice. Not Yahweh, the Elohim of justice. The angel of the covenant. The angel of the covenant, he adds a whole bunch of names. He's called the Elohim of justice. The Elohim of justice. He's called my messenger. He's called the Lord. He's called the angel of the covenant. He's also called Elijah. The Lord which ye seek, the angel of the covenant which ye desire. Once again, I ask, how did I not understand this before? What were they desiring? What were they desiring? The Elohim of justice. And whom does Yahweh send? One that will prepare the way for the Elohim of justice? No. They were desiring not a preparer. They were desiring not a preacher. They were desiring the Elohim of justice. And the question is, where is the Elohim of justice? And everyone says, okay, the one you desire, the one you look for, comes suddenly, when I want, to his home. This Mr. is my messenger. I'm turning it around to the same question. It is an angel of the covenant. Why covenant? Because if it doesn't come with a covenant of salvation for the whole world, then the whole world is destroyed. It is a covenant, not a covenant, but it's the covenant, the last covenant that we had, or the covenant of Moses, which would condemn the whole world. And the law condemns the whole world and gives power unto sin, because it is the law that does sin. If there's no law, there's no sin. So then he comes with a new covenant, entirely different to what the Jews think and what the Christians think and what the rest of the world thinks. Which ye desire. Behold, you kids here, you're asking, where is the Elohim of justice? Okay, the one that you desire is what Yahweh sends. Yahweh doesn't come. It is what you wish for, the Lord of justice, the God of justice. Behold, he cometh, Yahweh Sabaoth saith, he will come. What you wish for, he will come. What you're asking for, what you're demanding, cometh. He says, but hold on. And who shall stand the day of his coming? It's not that he comes to do justice. No, he comes. It's a guy that's a heavy guy. For the common character of the people, for what the people are accustomed to or think they can stand, what they think an messianic image, it is very different. Who will stand his coming? Because he is the Elohim of justice. But you are not, many of you, prepared to stand his coming, and who will be able to stand the day of his coming? And who shall remain when he shall manifest? Because many leave saying, oh, I didn't think this was okay. He told me, he mistreated me. I think that he is arrogant. I think that he is too proud. Tell you the truth, I'm looking for new horizons. Perfect. I mean, the prophecy says, how many will remain when he shall manifest himself? For he is, and always he is the Elohim of justice. He is fire, or chlorine, or fuller's soap, and a refiner's fire, and he shall sit as a refiner and purifier of silver, and he shall purify the sons of Levi, or LVE, same word, of Levi, and purge them as gold. That is what he comes to do justice and to teach, and the silver, that they may offer to Yahweh an offering in righteousness, and it is, those offerings are the result of justice. What is it? Those sacrifices or holocaust, what are they? It's not the sacrifices of animals or anything, but rather they're per se the trophies. What are they? Or the gifts. What are those gifts going to be about? Justice. And why justice? Because the one that cometh is the Elohim of justice, obviously. I mean, right there you can start to see how clear the text is, so that trophies can be presented, or a remnant, or the totality. In justice, there has to come an owner of justice, the God of justice. Do you comprehend this? Do you comprehend this? What happens if he doesn't come? Well, Malachi says it right there in the last part of the text, in the same chapter, because number 4 doesn't exist, but number 3, Malachi 4, 5, and 6, which would be number 3 with a different number in the textual Bible, it is read clearly, what if that Elohim of justice doesn't come? It says, behold, I send you the prophet Elijah. Oh, so then who is the Elohim of justice? Prophet Elijah. It is very clear. Absolutely clear. You cannot have something any more clear and at the same time not see it. Like what happened to all of us. Do you understand this already? I think you are understanding this clearly. Now, don't get upset at me, okay? Because it depends on something else, okay? To apply justice, it depends on something else. So then don't start to protest to me, because you have to protest to another, so that he can give me the power to do justice. In the meantime, we understand the positions, we understand the titles. It's kind of like voting for a president until they don't give him the charge, the office. He cannot do anything. He could be the president-elect. We have the God of justice elect by Elohim himself, but until he doesn't give him the office and sits him in the throne, he can't do anything. So then don't come at me with complaints, okay? Because that does not depend on me. Behold, I send you the prophet Elijah before the day of Yahweh cometh. Great and terrible, he shall turn the hearts of the sons unto the children, and the hearts of the sons unto the fathers, justice, lest I come and have to consecrate the earth into complete annihilation. That is the Elohim of justice. If he comes, Noah was not an Elohim of justice. Noah was an obedient servant. And what happened? His faith, his obedience to God condemned the entire world. Just as you feel it, his obedience unto God condemned the entire world. Now, this Elohim of justice is not that way. This Elohim of justice prevents a day like the flood. This Elohim of justice says what would seem to be written, which is the entire destruction of the world, which is the apocalypse. Everyone calls in the name of apocalypse instead of revelation. They say entire destruction, like in the zombie apocalypse. It's a symbol of destruction, disaster, terror, tribulation. Well, the word doesn't say that, but already for the world, in the jargon of the world, that's what it means. It says this is an apocalypse. It's not talking about that it's a marvelous revelation, but it's talking about that it's a terrible destruction, the apocalypse. So then, the apocalypse, this God of justice comes and says, there will not be such destruction. And why not? Because I will do justice, and the justice not to the level that the humans think that it should be. The evil man unto destruction, the good unto salvation. No, the justice has to be placed in every human being. That is what justice is. And the injustice of every human being has to return unto the Creator that gave it. Oh, who said that? No one else, except for the Elohim of justice. Because he is the Elohim of justice, precisely. The rest of the world is not the Elohim of justice, and they think that they are doing justice, that their justice, the acquired one, programmed, the evil men go unto hell and the good people go unto heaven. That is not justice. The real and only justice that exists, and the one that Elohim expects, is the one of the Elohim of justice. All is to blame upon Azazel. It came from him, and it'll go back to that. The humans have to be purified and justified. How many? Every one of them. That is the Elohim of justice. There's no more justice than that. No greater justice exists than that. Elohim said, there's no greater love, let's say, justice than the one that gives his life for his friends. That's a lie. Just like that, that's a lie. Another line phrase. There's no greater justice in heaven and on earth than to wish for good and the justification of every human being. Whether he is innocent or guilty, doesn't matter. He has to go back to live. You have to take the curses out and the wickedness that was acquired from his parents and fathers, the one that lived when he was conceived and he grew up in that wickedness. The Bible says, oh, poor things. The sons of Elohim are like a tree that's placed or that grows next to the river that is always strong and has green leaves, and the wind can come and they have strong roots. What a good tree, because he is next to the river, and the evil men are like the trees in a deserted land. They have their roots in nothing, and poor thing, it looks ugly, horrible, or the sun kills it. That's a mistake. The tree is not to blame. The tree cannot be planted or moved to wherever he wants to. And if the tree that is planted next to a river, he didn't plant himself there. Somebody planted him there. And so then he had the luck to have water next to him. And the other poor little tree could be exactly the same or better, but does not have anyone to feed him. And so then that is why he's not evil, because he was born in an evil environment in an evil environment, let us not cut down the tree because the nutrients then go into it. That happens with every human being. Every human being that he inherited from his parents, evil, and to survive in this chaotic world, how can he be to blame even if he's a rapist? Or how could be, if he's the worst criminal, how could he be to blame if that's all the nutrients he got? No other type of nutrient. Because of that tree, if somebody would go and add water him every day and give him nutrients, they make a nutrient so strong as if he were standing in the river, like the one in the river. So then what does it depend on? What does it depend on? It depends on the environment the Creator gave it. That is what you call justice. That is what justice is. But where else do we find the title of the Elohim of Justice? It's always been on my timeline. On my timeline, I always have Psalms 45. On my timeline, we have Psalms 45:6. Always. And 7. Or I have 7. It's always been there. There it says, who is the Elohim of Justice? Let's read it. Psalms 45:6 and 7. What does it say? Thy throne, Elohim is speaking, mind you, the Creator, Yahweh. Thy throne, O God. Thy throne, O God, the Creator of the world, the word God, Elohim. We are all gods. From the greatest to the least, we're all gods. We are a race of gods. But we're talking about a title of the God of justice. The rest could do justice, but they're not the God of justice. Like in mythology, there's the God of love. They can all have the God of love. They're not the God of love. There's a God of destruction. Do you understand? Many could have destruction, but the God of destruction is one. Well, the God of justice is one. Not many, not a group, it is one. It reads as follows. And in this case, it's an Ekhad. Of course, it says as follows. Your throne, O God, is eternal and forever. A scepter of justice is the scepter of your kingdom. So there's the answer. The scepter is the power, is the scepter of the command. Whatever he has in his hand symbolically, what a king has and gives him power. You see how with the scepter he commands. A scepter, a mad guy, the mage, he does his magic, whatever he has to do, but the scepter means power. So then in what does the power reside of this Elohim that is being chosen by Elohim, the Creator, the only one there is, which is the virtue he has? Why? Because he's good? No. No. Because he's beautiful? No. Because he's a saint? Well, in the aspect that the Christians believe? No. What is the quality? What is the quality? Justice. So then it says, your throne, O God, here's the Elohim of justice, is eternal and forever. Scepter of justice is the scepter of your kingdom. Thou art the God of justice. Yahweh himself said it. So then we, even me included, intended to speak to Yahweh. Where is the Elohim of justice? Where are you? Where is your justice, Yahweh? That is what we all said. Until we comprehended the text that Leslie understood before I did, like many times happens. She understood it, and she mentioned it, and I saw it in a nanosecond. I understood it entirely. What were we asking for? What we have to ask Elohim is for him to anoint the Elohim of justice. That is clear. So then Yahweh says, your throne, O God, your throne, O Elohim, is eternal and forever. There's no replacement. Whom is he anointing? Scepter of justice is a scepter of your judgment, of your kingdom. You're the king, the God of justice. You have loved justice. That is the secret. Who anoints? Who's anointed only by God? You have abhorred wickedness. What wickedness? The wickedness of Yahweh. I want you to understand that in a world in which, if Yahweh comes to do justice, And we know, and when the world understands that all the injustices, we know this, but when the world finds out that all the injustices, that no Lucifer ever existed or Satan, and that the ancient serpent was him, and that everything was planned by him so that it would work this way, the people will say, and if not in his face, they'll think it, how does he dare to come to justice? It's as if a president of the NASA, a deceiver, a planifier of the moon landing on all the lies that they say, all of a sudden comes and says, I come to tell you that the NASA deceived you and I come to do justice to you. But you were the son of a thousand bitches. Let's suppose that president was the one that designed the deceit. The only thing you can do is to confess the truth and to shut your ass. Don't come to do justice yourself. We'll do justice to you. But don't come to do justice to the flat earthers. No, you can confess what you did and nothing else, because we don't want you. Not even as justice at all. And we're going to accuse you. And you're going to have to confess what you're doing. But you to do justice for us? Nah. I mean, you have no authority to do justice. See, the same thing would happen when the people find out to see that Elohim is the creator of everything of good and evil, that he cannot come and do justice within his world that he created of injustice, because he was the one that gave power to injustice. He cannot come later to act like the good guy. It is like all the movies when somebody does like a husband to a woman and then later to become a hero when he did everything. He did all that. Do you understand what I'm saying? He cannot. There makes no logic. God cannot do justice. It is way higher than that. He's not there to do justice. I want you to understand that, and I justify it entirely. Just as much as he cannot do justice, he cannot take that role of the justifier of something that he's above. He's way more above good and evil. He's the creator of good and evil. Do you understand my words? So then he goes up into the throne forever and elevates unto a God of justice his messenger. And he says, he really has no injustice, nor did he propagate injustice, but he hates it rather. He even started to hate the injustice that I did. It's kind of like a movie in which the protagonist does not know, but the one that is elevating and making him grow does a whole bunch of injustices, makes his life impossible. And of course, he does it not because of to do evil, but to make him grow. Do you understand? To make him strong, so that he can learn to make decisions, so that he knows what's good and evil, right and wrong. But then when the guy says, "Oh, I thought you were my friend or my father, and you made me go through all this," for him to tell him, "I made you go through all that because you would not be who you are if I didn't make you go through this path." So then, but you did. Yeah, I did that. But you took away. Yeah, I did all that. So that you arise and become stronger and do better things, and that you learn and you mold your character. Well, this is this movie. That is why Yahweh forms an Elohim of justice, and he gives it to the world, the Elohim of justice. I'll read it once again. Thy throne, O God, is forever and ever. That, O God, is not Yahweh, but the Elohim of justice. The scepter of thy kingdom is a right scepter. Thou lovest righteousness and hatest wickedness. Therefore, God, thy God, hath anointed thee with the oil of gladness above thy fellows. Well, I'll explain a phrase that I looked for in Hebrew, and of course they say that both things are valid, but for me only one thing is valid. And the last part, I am sure that you didn't understand what it says. I'll read it again. Therefore God has anointed thee, thy God, with oil of gladness above thy fellows. Who anointed him? Who anointed him? Who anointed him? His God anointed him, right? Okay, good. But the first part doesn't say what you think that it says. I'll read it again, slowly. Therefore. What it means, therefore, because you have loved justice. You're the God of justice. Therefore, God has anointed thee, your God. That part about God anointed thee, it doesn't say God anointed thee. It's in something else. I'm gonna change it and they'll understand it. I'm not gonna have to explain it. I'll change the word God for president, and you'll understand it. Like if you've never understood it. Therefore, he anointed the president. Your president did. Did you understand? Not God Yahweh anointed thee. Your God Yahweh. I'm not saying that. He's saying because you love justice, the Elohim, he anointed thee as Elohim of justice, your God. Did you understand now? That anointed thee is not something which is overabundantly, or what do you call when something is repeated? When it's not that it is redundant. That would seem God anointed thee. Because at a simple sight, I think every one of you understood. I'm going to change the name of God for Yahweh. Yahweh anointed thee, your Yahweh. It says, yeah, that's what I understood. That's not what it says. In Hebrew, not even that. It says he elevated you to the position of God. He made you the God of justice. This is what it says. I'll read it. Taking all the types of cover. Your God, your throne, O God, is eternal forever. Scepter of justice, you are the God of justice, is the main motive, the main thing of your kingdom. You have loved justice and have abhorred wickedness. Therefore, God, thy God, had anointed thee the God of justice, with oil of gladness above thy fellows. Who are the fellows? All that will accompany him in the government. But this is the Elohim of justice that has extra things. That oil of gladness has many meanings, but I won't present that today. But the subject is absolutely majestically clear. Who is the Elohim of justice? We always had it there. So then, before the question, guys, where is the Elohim of justice? Here is the Elohim of justice. Here is the Elohim of justice. Just like Leslie posted. Here is the Elohim of justice. He hath yet to sit on his throne. But before he sits on his throne, he has to have clearly understood what justice is. What he had to have clear in his mind before God elevates him and anoints him with the title and the power and the glory and the authority as the Elohim of justice, he has to understand clearly what was he to do. If the guy had in his mind to destroy everyone, that was going to be the justice he would do. If he expected to destroy the evil and the wicked, that's the justice that he would do. That's not the plan of Yahweh. No, it's not. Yahweh had to go and prepare his mind so that when it's ready and the precise time arrives that he understands who the Elohim of justice is, I believe that we are almost at the end. That is what should be understood at the end, not at the beginning, but at the end. So then you're understood already, guys, where the Elohim of justice is. You should have understood it a long time ago. Now you can look that way. I've answered already. Therefore, from here on out, all of you that ask where is the Elohim of justice, there's no need for you to ask where the Elohim of justice is, because you should know up until now. Now the question should be, like Miguel Angel asked with the image that Leslie added, when will you give the power unto the Elohim of justice? That depends on him. That does depend on him. We could have a president-elect that can't do anything until the day cometh of the possession of the kingdom of the people and everything. Do you understand this? Very well. Exactly. Very well. And I hope that you all understood this absolutely clearly. Very well. The questions are gonna have to be for later. There's time. So keep sending them. Don't you worry. I love them. I will answer them. I am hot today. Very well. The text of invitation, very same one. I love it. Proverbs 23. Pay attention to my corrections, and I will fill you with my spirit. Wow, marvelous. And I shall make my thoughts be known unto you. Wisdom and Discipline, chapter 20. And let's see if there are, or how many likes we have. We have 234 likes, 249 watching. Many probably fucked off and left because they cannot stand the Elohim of justice, and they cannot stand what they could call a display of arrogance. Why does he have to say it? Because if you don't believe this now, when he receives the kingdom, the whole world will believe it, and there won't be a difference between you and the rest of the world. I'll repeat this again, in case you didn't capture this. If you don't understand this now, the world does not understand that there's no difference between you and the world. Because when the Elohim of justice starts to do his work, which is to bring people back to life and do whatever he wants, which is justice, the world will believe. And then will you believe. And what difference is there between believing there with the world and not have believed now? The difference is to work with the Elohim of justice or not to work with him. That's the difference. The Elohim of justice cannot nor will be laughed at. I'll say that, like one of the phrases of God, that he cannot be mocked. The Elohim of justice cannot be mocked. I had already seen this, but precisely on 217, which was posted by Miguel Angel. Leslie had seen this already, didn't tell me. She didn't tell me. Because it would have the exact time to give it on the 217 from this series and on. And if Leslie does not mention this, I would still be like an idiot repeating, Yahweh, where art thou? Exactly. So then from here on out, if you say, where is the Elohim of justice? I'll see that you didn't listen to this subject, and if you listened to it, you did not understand it, because there were people that were so stupid that left from here. When I come to say, where is the Elohim of justice, they wrote to me and they said, how do you dare to put God in the seat of the accused? God, you cannot say, where's the Elohim of justice, and pressure him. Wow. I mean, what if they had to understand what I just explained today? For me, it is clear that he's already here because he has sat down to refine the silver. It was more than clear, of course, yes. Exactly. He's on behalf of humanity, yes, and all the blame is placed upon God. Since we had the judgment, it was all God was to blame, exactly, entirely, as Leslie states. Any aggression, even from the unknown or the Christians, it befalls God is to blame. Exactly. Nor the Christians, nor the Jews, nor the Muslims, nor the pagans are to blame to believe what they believe. None of them. The Elohim of justice says that. Exactly, and he will justify everyone, and that you will understand next Shabbat. In so many studies, no, with what I've just taught, I should say, you know what I just taught you get, I'll just grab the mic and drop it, and that's it. You understood this? Let's go and eat some quesadillas. Like the Mashiach said, so I've been with you so long, and you still don't understand. Leslie says that when I said that, it says, I've been with you so long, and you still ask me for the Father. Where is the Father? That you want to see the Father? What type of sons of bitches are you? I've been with you so long, and you don't know that I am the Father. Whosoever had seen me has seen the Father. Exactly. The same thing is applied with this. All these questions, where's the Elohim of justice? Where's the Elohim of justice? You don't see that the Elohim of justice is here. and you still have not seen the Elohim of justice, and don't ask, why don't you start to do justice? Because that depends of, no, but real physical, yes, is that first, the theory of what you're going to do comes the preparation and what law you to apply, and then the power. And then the power. Exactly. And you already know. As soon as I receive the power, the whole world will be justified, and they will learn, everyone. That is what the Elohim of justice says that he will do. Very well. Let's see if the likes went up. The likes went up. Perfect. Even though there's even less every time, because they cannot stand the coming. They cannot stand the coming of the Elohim of justice. It's like he's a purifying fire. They cannot hear him. They cannot listen. They cannot even believe what they are hearing. That is what happens. But tell me, what more justice could there exist than that the one that pretends to be, let's say it like this, to pretend the throne of justice, he wants to save everyone, to justify everyone, and to return the wickedness and all the wickedness of the earth and everything to the originator. There's no more justice than that. God cannot come to do justice when he is the originator of evil. Do you understand that? Has another person like that has ever existed in the world? No, he hasn't. Will he exist in the future? He'll also not exist, because if he were to exist, he would have had to gone through the path like we. And how then will there be two Elohim of justices? And the other, what happened to the other one? You see how to understand this already. It makes you understand that we are very close, that we are already caressing the scene, the Elohim of justice to sit in the throne. We're already caressing that. Can we change the Apocalypse part 3? The question is simple, and the question is very difficult to answer to a normal level. For the Christians and the Jews, let's say for the Christians, the apocalypse of the New Testament, and for the Jews, the apocalypse of all the prophets, we will change it because they have an interpretation that's superficial of what it says. So then, in order for their mind, we will change it. So then, can we change the apocalypse? Yes, it will be changed. But for what is written, actually written, which only the kings can understand what is written, we will not change anything. We want to fulfill what is written. You understand? Okay, so then for the mind of the Christians, there will have to be a change. They will have to accept the change when they see it, of course. It'll be difficult. They'll have to accept it, and they're going to say they changed the apocalypse. And yes, your interpretation of the apocalypse, so then both things are coming. For those who have a wrong interpretation, which is everyone, it'll change. But those that have the correct interpretation, that is the only one that will take place. So then can we change it? Actually, what is secret? No. What was misinterpreted, which is the whole world? Yes. Let the laurels be eternal that we knew how to achieve, crowned with glory. Let us live, or let us swear with glory to die. That message is absolutely magnificent. It can only be said and be taken into the realization, execution by the Elohim of justice. Let us sum up a bit of what we saw last Shabbat. There are some texts that I want to read again because they're fascinating, and I will read them real quickly, and we'll enter into the new part. We've read Isaiah 14:22. I'll read it again. They are the promises of an apocalypse per se, of a terrible ending, an end of massive destruction, where no one is left. No one can be left. According to the eyes of God, it is written, this is the end of the world. If you want my justice, he wrote it just for writing it. You want my justice? This is what I will do. For I will rise up against them, saith Yahweh of hosts. And who are they? It is Babylon and all the rest. And cut off from Babylon the name and the remnant and son and nephew. Hold on. If Babylon is the whole world, not. Yes, of course. Are we part of Babylon? Of course we are. When they say, come out of her, my people, can we come out of Babylon? There's no way to come out of Babylon. Where the fuck are you going to go? We can leave, we can interpret it, but just by interpretation, we go out of the ideas of Babylon, we go out of the ideas of the medicine of Babylon, we go out of the science of Babylon. Well, we live from Babylon, we suck from Babylon, we eat with Babylon. Babylon that makes our food. Babylon allows us to use his bank. Babylon allows us to use his services. Their service or electricity of internet and everything, all the phones and all the things. Who owns them? From another country that is not Babylon. So then how the fuck are we going to go out from there? It is impossible, and we don't even want to go out. Get out and leave Babylon. What we want is to make the change of Babylon, starting with the name, and the change in the civilization. Taking the greatest achievements of the civilization and showing the truth to every one of them, and taking out the lies and the deceit of commerce, and to make a perfect government. Say that is what we want. But that exit babbling part, until now, it is completely outdated. Where the fuck are we going to go if we're speaking through a Babylonian system? I'm speaking through YouTube. And as long as I know, as far as I know, YouTube is not the owner of heaven.com. No. It is precisely of the most Babylonian things that exist, YouTube. And if not, Facebook. Who owns Facebook? Is it Gabriel the angel? No. No. It is some guy that's called Zuckerberg, which in Spanish can sound a bit like suck a dick. So then let us stop with the fantasy of saying I've exited Babylon like an obedient child. Don't be an idiot. And I'm speaking to myself when we're saying, oh, we have exited Babylon. What do you mean? Some church. It's all Babylon. My house is Babylon. I'm going to go buy some things from Babylon. Babylon gives me the best food that I choose if I'm smart. It says, no, I don't want this service. Which one? Well, these services to protect me, I don't want them. So the Babylon says, what do you want? You want this? You want that? Okay, I'll do this one. No, not that one. Not that one. Do you want this one? Yeah, I do want that one. Look, I have a car for you. Do you want that one? Yes, I do want that. And what about air conditioning? You want that? Yes, I do want that. We're in the system of Babylon, but of course. But then all the hypocrisy, I've come out of my people so that I do not be in participation of the plagues. There's no plagues. There's no plagues. As soon as they wanted to have plagues to their beat, we stopped everything. That's the way it is, and I'll attribute it to our judgment. That is what I attribute it to. What we've done amongst us. Yahweh has paid attention, and he said, already, you're almost prepared. Almost prepared. I have to stop. I have to finish preparing the Elohim of justice, give him the throne, and already he'd be, everything would be ready. Exactly. The idea of coming out of Babylon to go into the field doesn't solve anything, because the field is 100% Babylon. So then it says, because I shall rise against them, saith Yahweh of hosts, and I shall take the name and the remnant from Babylon, both son and nephew, saith Yahweh. And I will make it a possession of the bittern, all the earth, and pools of water, and I will seep it with the besom of destruction. Wow, saith the Lord of hosts. Yahweh of hosts hath sworn, saying, surely, as I have thought, so shall it come to pass, and as I have purposed, so shall it stand. Take that. He put his signature on there. It'll be so. Yahweh, I want you to understand this well, because this is serious on one end, and for us, it's not as serious, but it's serious because the whole world believes it. Yahweh has determined the entire destruction of the earth, has determined it, sworn it, and signed it. There is only one person that can stop it, and he says so, but the destruction is sworn by Yahweh. It is not conditional. It is determined. It really is determined. It really is determined. It will be done as I have thought, and it'll be confirmed as I have determined. And I shall break the Assyrian in my land and in my mount, This is the purpose that I have purposed upon the whole earth. Upon what? Upon the whole earth. And this, the hand that is stretched out upon all the nations. And is there. There, the accent mark. And the hand is stretched out upon all the nations. How many nations? All of them. Yahweh has the hand like this upon the flat earth. And this is real. This is not, maybe doesn't have it. No. Take it like a thread that he will fulfill, just like he did with Noah, just like he did with Nineveh at the end of it all, just like he fulfilled it with Jerusalem, just like with Sodom and Gomorrah and all the other cities. Has the word and the hand and the power to do it. The people believe that they will do it without any room for doubt. They believe that it will do it. Peter was absolutely convinced that he was going to do it or not. I read it already, that of Peter. So then he says, this is the covenant that is upon all the earth. And the hand is stretched out upon all nations. For Yahweh of hosts had purposed it. And who shall disannul it? Who shall be able to save us? And his hand is stretched out to destroy. And who shall turn it back? Only one, the Elohim of justice. That he makes him go back. There's no one else that can do it. And he will do it. And is doing it. And is doing it. And I see in the poison which was placed upon the nations, in fact, the Elohim of justice started to stop the effect, or else it would be catastrophic. I'll say it just like that, Isaiah 46, 9 through 19. Remember the things of old, of the times of old, from times of old, for I am God, and there's no other God, and there's none like unto me, that I say what's coming from the beginning, and from the ancient times what I have not done, and that I say, my purpose shall stand, and I'll do all that is my will. There's no other God. The thing is that if you know it's another God, that God can stop him. And I call from the Orient the men of my counsel, all names of the Elohim of justice. The men of my justice. I've spoken, and I'll make them come. I've thought it, and I will also do it. Hear me, you hard-headed. Who are they? Everyone. We all have a hard head. Why do we have it like that? Because he did it. He hardened our heart. Not because we have hardened our hearts, but because he made a hard heart. That is why our heart is like that. And who are they? It's the whole earth. It's all the generations that have ever existed. Hear me, hearken unto me. It's like it said, oh, sons of men, hearken unto me, you stout-hearted that are far from my righteousness. And it says entirely the contrary to what you read and all the rest read and believe. You know what they read, what you believe, and what the rest believe? He speaks to the wicked, not the good people, not the righteous, not the religious, but the wicked, and says, hearken unto me, ye stout-hearted. Who? Those that don't believe God, the sinners, the wicked men, the assassins, Babylonians. Hearken unto me, ye stout-hearted, that are far from my righteousness. He says, yes, of course. They don't come close unto God to have justice. That is a lie. It's not what is written. What is written is, I open the scroll. What is written is, hearken unto me, humanity entirely, that I have hardened your heart, and that you're very far away from what justice is, because I do not give you righteousness, and I placed you in a wicked world. That is why you're far away, not because you drew away, because I drew away, because I give you injustice. So then the phrase changes entirely, and what comes next, you'll understand it entirely. I'll say it again. Hearken unto me, ye stout-hearted that are far from righteousness. What human being was ever close to righteousness in this whole existence? Never, ever, ever anyone. Never, ever anyone. Because even the most humble that the scripture says of himself, who was Moses, we killed him at 120 years old. Now, John the Baptist, because he deviated a bit from his ministry, he had his head cut off. What man has had justice in this earth? None. I'll tell you. Justice is to take out the curses, not through using the pharmacy to take the pain from the women. Justice is not for me to plant something and to have all these bugs to come and want to eat them, and all the weeds and all that to come out from there when where I am watering. So if somebody thinks that's just, it tells me because it doesn't exist. So then those that are far from justice is the entire world. Yeah, well, has placed us in an unjust world. Where's the Elohim of justice? He isn't there. He's never been there. He shows up in the end of times. And if the Elohim of times shows up, the Elohim of justice has always reigned. So I'll give you the phrase and you understand it. Hear me, oh, stout-hearted. All of you that are far from justice, of course, they cannot even come near. Justice has never been there. I shall bring my righteousness near. Here, he says it right there. If you didn't understand what I said, you could not have understood what follows. It doesn't say, I will make for you to come near unto my justice. It doesn't say that I will make my justice come near. Who had drawn away from whom? He, from men. The men were in a world of injustice entirely, because he submerged us in that injustice. So then we are not stout-hearted because we want to. We're stout-hearted by his curse. That is why we are mortals. Hear me, O mortals. Those that don't know justice, why don't we know justice? Because justice has never been with you. There's no way for you to know justice. You don't know it. But I will do it, Yahweh says. For justice to come near. For the first time in all this story of these 6 centuries, I'll make my justice come near. And how will you do it? Behold, I sent the angel of the covenant. Behold, I sent my messenger. And that is the way to get unto the justice of Yahweh. I will make my justice to come near. It shall not draw away. It's always been draw away. You see how he speaks to the stout-hearted people that are away from justice. Why are they far? Because Yahweh made his justice to draw away. Do you understand my words? Or is it just some crazy guy speaking? There's no way for the Christians and Jews to understand this. Of course, the men have never known justice because justice has never been among men. So then you are drawn away from justice. I took the justice away from you. There's no form for you to draw unto justice. You stout-hearted people. I made you that way, stout-hearted. In the future, when I want, I'll make my justice to come near unto you. Something which you've never had. Wow. It was written. I'm not making anything up. Now that I've revealed this, you can read in all the versions that you want. You'll understand exactly the same thing. Because I've opened the scroll. It says, I shall make my justice be drawn unto you. It was not the problem of man. It was a problem of God. Do you understand this? I shall make my justice to be drawn in near. It shall not draw away, like I've always done. I've always made my justice draw away, and my salvation will not stop. But now my salvation will not stop. It comes unto you, and I will place my salvation in Zion, in my glory in Israel. That is synonyms or a parable of the Messiah. The Messiah and the people, which are the unit that the Messiah forms. His salvation will be in the Elohim of justice, and all his glory in the Mashiach. That is what he's saying, and it is so clear. Why? Because there's never been justice in all the earth. Ever. That's why the people say, and he says it, where is the Elohim of justice? From the times of Adam and Eve, there's never been justice. There hasn't been until the Elohim of justice comes, which is not the Elohim creator. It is the Elohim of justice. Very well. Can we? Well, there's no need to read this question. Of course, the wrath of God, which is written and determined, we will avoid it. Isaiah 13, 1 through 22. I want to read this again, and we go into the new, because I want to record this in your mind, because Yahweh has determined to destroy the whole earth, but he also has determined the salvation of the earth. One in the other, one in the other. So then, but in order for us to comprehend that, yes, the destruction is done, and it is determined, so that we also comprehend only some that the Messiah, which the Son of Man, is the one that stops the whole destruction. Humans do not notice that detail, that are away from justice, of course, far. Until the justice doesn't come to them, they're far from justice. They don't understand it. And they think that everything will be destroyed, and that if they're good enough, maybe they can save themselves. Isaiah 13:1-22, the prophecy upon Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amos did see. Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand, that they may go into the gates of the nobles. I have commanded my sanctified ones, I have also called my mighty ones for mine anger. Wow. Even them that rejoice in my highness. So then this would take place if the Elohim of justice wouldn't come. Many do rejoice with that highness. Many Jews, many Christians. Glory of God, it's all the glory of God. And they wish to send even their own mother to hell because she did not wish to accept the blood of Christ. Because she has very, very well recorded in her saying, and I could not care where you come from if behind the Calvary thou art, as a hymn in the Adventist book in Spanish. So then, if you're behind the Calvary thou art, if thine heart is just like mine, you believe just like me that Christ died for me, give me thine hand, and my brother shall be. So then, that is what we have recorded in our mind, all the Christians, until we exit Christianity and we can awaken from there. But as long as you're there, it says, yes, do it. Send them all to hell, fuck them all to hell. And that's the way it is. Those are the braves, those that do get glad with the glory of Yahweh. As of many peoples, that the Christian and Jewish people that come to destroy everything, as if he were to give him power to all these sons of bitches. The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, Yahweh of hosts, muster the host of the battle. What are the troops of Jews, the Christians? They would have been here. You come from a far country, from the end of heaven, Yahweh, in the weapons of indignation to destroy the whole land. I want to highlight this again. I know I read it. I want to make this very clear. That those that believe in the glory of Yahweh, those that believe that Yahweh is a just God, those are the ones that are on his behalf to destroy everything. And if he were to give them a weapon, not even their mother would be left. Not even the parrot. Nothing would be left, because they would be thinking that they're doing a favor to their God. Doing justice, just like in old times, they would stone people to death, and they would, or the Catholic, during the Inquisition, they would burn people or burn the witches. Back in the time of the Protestants, they would burn those that would not accept the Holy Catholic Church, or and all the rest. So then, if they were to give him the power, they would do it with everything. Those are the instruments of his wrath. But we're not the instruments of his wrath. We thought that we were here. We would attribute all this also, because we said we would help Yahweh in his wrath. And not now. Now. In fact, you'll have to keep your wrath. Exactly, completely. When we thought that Yahweh is the God of evil, we didn't get on his behalf to develop. This would be wickedness. In the deluge, there was only wickedness. The destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah were wickedness. Just wickedness. Assassins. What did he say? How is the God of Israel? Yahweh? He said it out of himself. His God is murderer number one. That murderer, he's the murderer from the very beginning. Who killed in the very beginning? Howl ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as a destruction. There won't be any destruction. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. If this were fulfilled, then they shall be afraid. Pangs of sorrow shall take hold of them, and they shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed one at another. Their faces shall be as flames. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. For the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. It is very clear. It's very clear. Sinners that have invalidated his law, of course. And the Christians and the Jews, sinners because they violate his law. Therefore, the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. The sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. And I will punish the world for their evil. No, you can punish the world for the evil that you yourself gave us. Once we understand this, the cube is solved. Of course, the whole cube is solved. And the wicked for their iniquity, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. And I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man that the golden wedge of Ophir. What about women? We already know. Machismo. It's written in a way. I mean, it's laughable what he wrote. Obviously. But what he wrote here, he must make him laugh his ass off. It says, how can there be such sons of bitches? Yes, I made him like that. I go into the mind of God right now that I'm speaking. He must be thinking this, and he thought this before. He says, well, what a magnificent mind that I have. I lied to them, saying that I killed them all, and that and all. They accept me, and they want to follow me. And it says, yes, glory to God, to the evil. And they think that the evil are the others. Like the way I wrote it, you're all evil like that. And you applaud your own destruction. You are idiots. You do need an Elohim of justice. You do. He must. It says, because I will make the heavens and the earth shake. What else do I add? I don't even move them with that. It says everything will move. They could care less. They desire it either way. It says the city shall move from his place in the indignation of Yahweh of hosts, and in the day of his fierce anger, and they'll say, yea, let it come, let it come. And it shall be chased the roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up, they shall every man turn to his own people, and flee every one into his own land. Every one that is found shall be thrust through. And this is what else? And every one that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. What else is it? I'll shake them up. Like, I know what else. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. The babies, yes. These are sons of bitches. If I do this, their children before them will be destroyed, and then they will be destroyed. They don't see. No, nobody notices. They say, yes. This is what else to add. Okay, let's see if maybe they react with this. What else? Oh, yeah, their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished. Are women? Yeah, fine. It's the fucking bitch. Yeah, let her get raped. All that. Oh, the day of Yahweh. How beautiful is the day of Yahweh. How beautiful, because I am good and pure. Let everyone else happen to them and their wives and all that. I spoke to them about the love of God, of Jesus. I spoke to them about Yahweh Ekhad, and they didn't want to hear. This is what sons of bitches. That is the justice you want. They would be in the army fighting. Let's kill them all. Lord, you want us to descend fire from heaven? No, don't be a son of a bitch like that. Wow. Give us the power. And their women ravished. Behold, I show you the Medes and the Persians. And the kids will be thrust through with arrows. Are they going to wake up with this? No, they're like, yeah, that's play shooting the target with the kids. And what about the children and the pregnant? No, not that either. No, the eye shall not spare the children. Whose children? Their own children. Just like that. And the people say, yes, we want the second coming. So that all this takes place. We want that. And Babylon, the beauty of the kingdoms. Don't tell me that Babylon is not the beauty of all the kingdoms that have ever existed. It is written here. We are in the beauty. We're not talking about that Babylon, you idiot, of that little tiny city like this of Nebuchadnezzar. He adds it as an example. He's saying, because this prophecy goes to the ends of times, and says Babylon, beauty of kingdoms, and the ornament of the greatness of the Chaldeans shall be as Sodom and Gomorrah. Like what? Like the destruction. That is how I will leave your civilization. Everything, everything, everything. From their tiniest little town to their largest city, all their technology, just like they would listen to the preachings in the Elohim of Justice. You don't even know what the Elohim of Justice is. Yahweh says unto the Christians, you think it is me? Poor things. This is what I think to do with you. This is what I think to do with you. To convert the whole earth into Sodom and Gomorrah, and the Babylon, which was the beauty of the kingdoms. Yahweh describes it that way. Says it shall be like Sodom and Gomorrah, the one that God confused. That is how I'll leave everything. Shall never be dwelt in. What, Babylon? The entire earth. What else do I add? Let's see if you wake up. I've said that they're going to rape your women. You agree. I've told you that you're going to use your children as target practice. I'm going to say that the land where they live, I'm going to say that the whole entire land, there's no place here that is not Babylon. From this to this, enclosed in this, in these blocks of ice, which are a wall that cannot be go through, that is what Babylon is. In all of Babylon, the whole earth entirely, this will happen. What will happen? This will happen. It says, never again the whole earth shall be inhabited, nor shall it be inhabited forever and ever, ever. It'll be left empty. No shall the Arabian pitch that tent there. There's not going to be any Arabian. Neither shall the shepherds make their fold there, but the wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there. I have to say something about this that I comprehend now more clearly. Actually, there were no ostriches there. We have them in Australia, but not there. What is it referring to, all these names? But it's not there. It's something that the Jews and the Christians fear. What is that? Names of demons. There are certain Bibles, like I've read, it says that the demons, the nymphs, they're supposedly demon people, those demons, which are not human beings, they're not animals. It's something that is the demons and all that, even those that say that God created them. How is it that it's named? It's mentioned here. There's another one. Outside mythology, what they believe. The one that says the name has because you. Who is it? No. There's a woman. The name of a woman that says that she became a demon later. The Jews believe that, and the name is here. What's it called? Let's see if you can tell it to me right there. No. Lilith. Yes. Lilith. Oh. Everything that I could want. Let's look this up in eSword. Just a second. We are in Isaiah 13:21. Isaiah 13:21. I'd never understood why. I thought, why did it say those things? In this version, for example, the translation, I just grabbed whichever, the translation of the Jehovah's Witnesses, the New World. Look at what it says there. because they dared to say even one of the words well. And there, the frequenters of arid regions shall lay. They live there. Their houses shall be filled with real owls. They're not real owls. And the ostriches, which is the ostriches, shall live there, nor in the whole world will there be ostriches and demons. This time they added this, well, demons in the form of goats will be jumping around there. Actually, what Isaiah made him right, it says mythological beings that you say, wow, why? Now I understand it, because it's a lie. He didn't know more that Yahweh did this to see if somebody would wake up. No, the people accept this. No, the people accept absolutely everything. Well, let's see, what version could I read it? There were some good versions. There's no need. You've already understood that it actually says demons and it says other things. If somebody can find a version, satires. Who are the satires? In another version, it says satires. It says the satires. You know who the satires are, right? It's the goats that had, they were standing there and they would rape the women. Those are the satires. It's all mythology. It's all mythology. There's no turn of the page. Let's see, what did the Juniman version say? Oh yeah, the Juniman rather, which was translated. It's the version of the 70s which was translated to Greek. Look at what it says. And there they shall rest beasts, and the houses will be filled with echoes. Echoes are things that you cannot see, spiritual things. And the sirens and demons shall dance there, as well as onocentaurs. What are the onocentaurs? And there they shall dwell. So then just imagine that actually what is written, it's mythological beings. Yahweh says, the beautiful land that you have here in Babylon, the crown of the kingdoms, I'll make them inhabited by demons and things that you fear. Does anybody can care about this? No, the Christians say, I think that's fine. The Jews say, yeah, well, if there's another, then just do it. Just do it. So then it says, it goes on. In their palaces, the palaces which Babylon was able to make, in their palaces shall the hyenas howl in their houses of delight, and their time and their days shall not be lengthened. Obviously, it is a promise for Babylon of leaving it without a dweller forever. Will this be fulfilled? Well, for the Christians and the Jews, there's no other alternative, because they cannot see the other alternative, no matter what Elohim tried to convey there. But what is the reality there? That the Elohim of justice, Elijah, which has this, and now we understand it clearly. Now we go to, well, I've always read this, and this is the first time I'll be able to read it, changing absolutely everything, because we no longer have the old understanding, or the old false understanding, per se, that we were the weapons of destruction, because now we want to be weapons of redemption. We want to be weapons to bring people back to life, not to go unto death. The ones that are now, we want to send them to death. But when we used to read the Bible without understanding, without the true understanding that Yahweh gives to the Elohim of justice, that is why it's the Elohim of justice. I mean, it is more than clear. It's more than clear. He comes to do actual justice, something which never existed on earth, because Yahweh says, I have drawn the justice away from you. You've never known justice, ever. But I'll make it draw near unto you. How? By sending the Elohim of justice. Joel 1:2, which we loved, and none of this will be fulfilled. Pay attention, because this is for the very first time we shall read Joel chapter 2. We used to almost venerate this whole chapter, and now it's part of the real threats, which will not be taking place for the reason that you already know. Joel 2:1-32 says, blow ye the trumpet in Zion. Let everyone know, he says, and that is what the Christians do. and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let the alarm sound. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble. Wow, that is what we've always done. Destruction comes, sudden death. In fact, we used to practice this on Tishri 15 of 2011. We talked about how Yahweh was coming to destroy everything. Obviously, we're completely wrong. Right there in the school of the Mashiach, because Yahweh placed us in the school of the Mashiach since the eternal truth began. The eternal truth is the school of the Mashiach, where the Mashiach was to be formed, where the Elohim of justice was to be formed. He was to bring true justice, something that has never existed on earth. So then, how did you want us to think? Of course, we wanted destruction. Yeah, come destruction, but we're no longer about destruction. Now we forewarn and we announce entire salvation, that all the civilizations and of all that have ever existed. This is equal to that of Noah, the promises of Noah to God. From God to Noah. When Elohim came to Noah and says, hey, Noah, prepare an ark for you. I'm going to destroy the earth. This is the same thing. This is exactly the same thing. And all the Christians and Jews, starting with Noah, and every one of them say, okay, yeah, I'll prepare myself. I'll prepare my family and destroy everyone else. No one is left. No, there's no turn of the page. Sound trumpet in Zion and sound the alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the earth tremble, for the day of Yahweh cometh. For it is at hand, a day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness. What's coming? And we used to be happy. Not anymore. No longer. It won't exist. But how long did it take? Or it took the exact time. Since we're just understanding this more than marvelous, absolutely, I cannot describe what this subject is. It's as if more than the fruit, or it's more than the icing on the cake. It's the best of the best of the best that has ever existed in all humanity. It's not just any preaching per se. It is a day. It says, for the day of Yahweh cometh. We don't want the day of Yahweh, and won't come. The day of the Mashiach cometh. The day of the Mashiach, the day of the Elohim of justice. That does come. For it is at hand a day of darkness and of gloominess. That is what Yahweh brings, and he's always brought. He's never brought anything else. He has never brought anything else. Just darkness and gloominess, confusion, lies and wickedness. Because of the reason of the creation. I justify him, but I want to leave this very clear. But he has never brought any truth. The only truth he gave us, which is contained in this, it is concealed under a whole bunch of lies, and you have to remove all the lies in the parable to get to it, because everyone thinks the day of Yahweh cometh. And when the day of Yahweh does not come, they'll understand what was it that happened so that the day of Yahweh would not come. They'll be more than marvelous. Once they comprehend it, at first they'll be more than perturbed, but afterwards they'll be marveled with the plan of what they thought and what they agreed to, of what they had agreed to. And they'll see the difference in the way of thinking with the Elohim of justice. For the day of Yahweh cometh, for it is nigh at hand, a day of darkness and of gloominess, everything that Yahweh produces, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong. And it's not us, mind you. This is what would come if it were the Jews and the Christians, people, justifiers. There hath not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. No, there won't be ever that people. It is a destructive people looking for justice on behalf of Yahweh. They're all on behalf of their Yahweh, their Jesus. Let us kill, send everyone to hell. That people will not exist. It exists now. It exists in the generalized mind and in the, remember when the collective mind of the Christians and the Jews, this only thought of destruction, and the good, which are they, are saved, the remnant. We are the remnant. Oh, how beautiful does it sound in their mind. Now the rest, death. This is the people that thinks this way. That people exist. Is just that it will never receive power because the Elohim of justice precisely does not allow this. It says there won't be a people like unto it. No, there will never be. Before him shall he consume fire, and behind him flame burneth. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them. Wow, that made me think when I studied it. I don't want to tear too long in this, but it's magnificent. It's the first time that we're studying Joel in a 100% different way, with 180 degree, and I couldn't even mention how different this is. I mean, it's not opposite, but I mean, it's completely different. What does Yahweh say in this affirmation? I'll tell you. Yahweh says that we have arrived to have the earth like the Garden of Eden. This land is more beautiful than the Garden of Eden. The Garden of Eden is an actual dog shit next to this. You think that in the Garden of Eden, where all the types of apples and tomatoes and things that we have, it took us years to make a good carrot. If you know about carrots, the ones that you eat now, which are sweet, which are orange, were not that way. 500 years ago or 1,000 years ago, they were just white and they didn't taste like anything. It was like potato. Humans, by mixing and taking out and purifying, they were able to make a much better product. I'll tell you, our creation as Elohim, which are gods over all the earth, we did marvelous things contrary to all the rest of the people that think that we degenerated the world. No, we have made the world better. Excuse me. We have to make it better. We have to make it better so that it has some flavor, and then we'll talk. It says, how was the earth going to be in the time of the end? Look at the words, because this was written by Yahweh for those that understand. If he were to just let it loose, this would happen. Let's see if you understood. This would happen if Yahweh were to give power to the Christian and Jewish people, and they will say, do justice upon the wicked. Just imagine. How many of us would be left? Wow. I mean, no. We couldn't even think about it. No. It says, before him, that people that wants justice from Yahweh will be consuming fire, and behind him a flame burnt, and the land is the Garden of Eden before them, what the land is now. And behind them a desolate wilderness. That is the idea that they have to do, because they've been indoctrined by it. Yeah, and nothing shall escape them. Do they spare anyone? That people, no one. If you want to see the equivalency, what are the waters in the apocalypse? What do the waters represent? Peoples, multitudes, nations, and tongues, right? Okay, what was it that was destroyed because Yahweh left them free during the flood? The waters. So then the waters, which are the multitudes, peoples, nations, and tongues, indoctrined and obedient to Yahweh, they would destroy the entire world. They would flood it and do away with it if it was up to them. And that is what Yahweh is telling you here. This people is the Christian Jewish people and Arab and all the ones that are on behalf of the God they believe in. So then it says, and behind them as a desolate wilderness. Yeah, nothing shall escape them. Their appearance is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen so shall they run. Like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains shall they leap, like the noise of flame, of fire that devoureth the stubble. As a strong people set in battle array, before their face the people shall be much pained. All faces shall gather blackness. They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war, and they shall march every one of his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. And they neither shall one, and they shall not break their ranks, neither shall one thrust another. Of course, if God gives power to this people to destroy, they cannot be destroyed. They destroy everything. So understand this so differently. There's no need for me to even explain it to you, because I'm already against the day. It's not that I'm against it. It won't be fulfilled. The day of the wrath of Yahweh will not come true. And they shall go through the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb upon the houses. They shall enter in at the windows like a thief. The earth shall quake before them, this people. The heavens shall tremble. The sun and the moon shall be dark. Oh, it's the same thing. Always the same dog shit. The same fucking lie. It's always, the sun has gotten darkened, the sign, the moon, blood, like blood, red as blood, and then to end up fucking it all is that the sun no longer shines. Wow, at the end, wow, and the moon also. And the stars fuck off. So then even though we're going to change it all and all, either way, what I'm referring to is that the greatest threat of Elohim is that I'll undo everything. Let's see what you do. And the people are like, yeah. It says, and the sun and the moon shall be darkened, the stars shall wither out their shining, and Yahweh shall utter his voice before his army. The thing is that we are no longer the army of Yahweh. I'll repeat this again in case you didn't grasp it. Yahweh Sabaoth means Yahweh of hosts, of all armies. What is the army of Yahweh? The first one he had was Israel. And with that, he conquered Canaan and all that. He killed, annihilated, he stole, and took. And then afterwards, he allowed his people to get taken and hostage by someone else. And then later on, I'm going to give your army power again to become a beast. That is the army of Yahweh, the first one he said. And the rest, what are his other armies? All the ones that add themselves to this book and believe that they are on the side of Jesus. They are the army of Yahweh. The army of Yahweh is a malign army. I'm going to repeat this again in case you didn't understand. The army of Yahweh that follows Yahweh, of those who understand that the Bible is that way, it is an assassin and murderer's lot. The Catholic Church has done it. The Jews have done it. And all the Christians intend to do this. They want to send all the evil men to hell or to be disappeared while they are raptured, while they are taken to a different world. Peter says everything will be destroyed. Everything will be destroyed. They're all murderers. They're all like Noah, every last one of them. That is the army of Yahweh. The Elohim of justice is not a part of the army of Yahweh. He faces Yahweh, and he faces the army of Yahweh and defeats both. Because as it turns out, that is what happens. It's not that Yahweh is overcome, but Yahweh expects that. So then he says, okay, now I see this whole army that I have here. They think they love justice. They love the justice they've seen from me, and they don't see that it is injustice. The stupid people, the Christians and the Jews and all the rest, Muslims and all the rest, they see me, and they think that that is justice. And they have blood and thirst of justice, mine. They can't see these sicklings, that is not justice. So then my army is a murderer's one. It is the waters of the flood. Just in case you didn't understand what I just said, it is the waters, the destructive waters of the flood. That is the army which destroys everything. Now, the Elohim of justice is not a part of the army of Yahweh. It says, no, you're not part of my army. No, of course not. Of course not. You know this. You have already noticed it. You're not going to do that. You know why you won't follow me? Yahweh says, you know why? Because you have loved justice and abhorred wickedness. Of course, and you have noticed that wickedness is mine. I have begotten wickedness, and you abhorred it, even what I have begotten. Of course, you have said he deserved to have a thorn crown, even more. They should have put thorns up his ass because of everything he did, and that is your justice, of course. I understand it, Yahweh says, but you're the only one. Now the rest, they are on my side. The rest pray to me all the time, Lord, please give me justice. And still, there were some people, even until last week, complaining, where is the day of justice when I will not do justice? I will send the Elohim of justice. Because I won't do it. I could not do it. It's not my job. So then, you're not a part of my army. You sit here, your throne, O God, for all eternity, because you have loved the true justice, not like all those followers that are my army. And you have abhorred my works that I've showed you. My works, you have abhorred them. That is why I give you a throne, which is called the throne of justice. You have a scepter, which is the power of justice. That is why your Elohim has anointed thee as the Elohim of justice. What more clear could be than that? What? I mean, it sure is worth it to wait for me 1 hour, 2 hours, 1 week until I want to open the mic and speak, because it is marvelous. What I teach you, it's magnificent. So then, it says, the army of Yahweh, supposedly, all these sons of bitches that want to destroy everything, it says as follows, and before him the earth shall tremble, and the earth shall tremble, and that a star shall withdraw their hand, and Yahweh shall utter his voice, because they follow commands. They don't think, they just follow orders. Why are they servants? They are worthless servants. We'll read that later. Don't get ahead to quote it. It says, you, the disciples, are servants that do what I tell you. Yes, that's why you are worthless servants. I couldn't understand, why are they worthless if they're obedient? For that reason, because they're worthless. Until they understand my reasons, until they understand the wickedness that I show in the world, they still obey me, and they still try to follow my commands, which makes you worthless servants. So then, which is the one that is worth something? The Elohim of justice. That one is the only one. Okay, moving on. So then it says, and Yahweh shall utter his voice before his worthless army. For his camp is very great. I mean, a whole quantity. His camp is very great. Wow, I understand now. We are just a few. But here it says that his camp is very great, because the whole quantity, that one destruction and the Arabs and all that, it is very great, very great. Of course. So then it is very great is their encampment. Strong is the one that executed his word. Who's strong? The beast is strong. We are not strong. Until we are not given the power, we are not strong. And we could give a fuck if we're not strong. We could give a fuck if we are a few. They can all fuck off to their mother's cunt, or to the bitch-ass army of Yahweh. Just like that. I love using those beautiful words. The murderous army of Yahweh. Worthless, greatly worthless. That all they want to do is destroy, because they follow their God. Until they learn that they have another God that they have to follow. And that God will make them understand and accept and worship the true God of theirs. Moving on. It says, it is very great, these sons of bitches. I mean, because it is very great, their encampment. And strong is the one who follow his orders, for great is the day of the wrath of Yahweh. It is great. Great. Wow, that army of idiots, of course it's going to be great. Give power to the Jews or the Christians, and they'll destroy anything. You know what will happen. Great is the day of Yahweh, and it is very terrible. Who will be able to withstand it? No one. No one. Once they kill everyone, they'll start to kill each other. Because some believe in the Trinity, others don't, and they defend their God. I'm a prophet. No, I'm a prophet. I have the truth. I have the true interpretation. No, we all love God. And they end up killing each other. First they kill everyone, and then they kill each other, and no one will be left. Who shall be able to stand it? Not even the parrot. No one. No one. If this were to be fulfilled, are you following the whole story that I'm presenting, right? Of the story of Joel? Therefore also now, saith. Oh, how magnificent. Wow. This is so new, absolutely mind-blowing. Mind-blowing, I can't believe it, what I'm speaking. Because even to the very last time that I read Joel, we were on the other side, in the army of Yahweh. We were like, yeah, we're all for Yahweh. Let us destroy everything. Now, we switch to the other side. We're no longer a part of the army of Yahweh. You are either a part of the army of the God of justice, or you're part of the army of Yahweh. It is more than clear. Yahweh says, come on my side. I'll come to destroy. Who is on the side of the Elohim of justice? Those who go on the side of the Elohim of justice will be those who form the whole structure of the Messiah, and they will obtain the government forever. And those that were on the side of Yahweh, due to not understanding the scriptures, will be the whole rest. And they will understand, and they will believe, and they will fall on their knees before the Elohim of justice, before the Son of Man. And there they will understand how wrong we were and how righteous and correct is Yahweh. For he gave us a choice, and we blindly, without seeing all the signs that he gave us, for he gave us the signs, is what I want you to understand is Yahweh demonstrated that actually it was wrong. What the day of the wrath of Yahweh was, he's showing it to. He's saying it's a day of darkness. Whomever with a finger width of a forehead says, I don't want a day of darkness. But they desire it either way. What happens, day of Yahweh? The women are raped, the kids are murdered, everyone is killed, and then they are killed. Yahweh says, don't you see? Then you'll recognize that Yahweh gave you all, so that you suspect that there was something, there was a cat in a bag. But they were not able to see it, nor will they see it. What they will see is the glorious coming of the Elohim of justice. That they will see. So then it says, that is why, behold, I had not understood this before, but now having understood everything that I've just explained, Yahweh says, you see what I've just said? That will destroy everything. Here's the option. I've never seen it as an option. That is why now, therefore also now, for this reason that I've just mentioned, pay attention, he says. Yahweh saith, turn ye even unto me. Turn into him with all your heart, with fasting and weeping and mourning, and rend your heart and not your garments, and turn unto Yahweh your Elohim, for he is gracious and merciful, slow to anger and of great kindness, and repenteth him of the evil. Who knoweth if he will return and repent, and leave a blessing behind him? Even who knows? He, the whole day of the wrath of his, he set it into doubt. He said, look, this is what I'll do with the day of the wrath. So that's what you have to change. What does it mean to turn unto him? It is to comprehend what really is written. It's difficult to understand because these people are already converted to him, but what they interpret of him, as a Catholic will defend his Catholicism, and Adventist will defend his Adventism to death, and don't even mention the Jews or the Mormons and the Protestants and those that speak in tongues. Don't even mention them. They'll all defend their way of seeing the scriptures. But it says, but there is the possibility open that the day of Yahweh will not be fulfilled. How did we not pay more attention to this? Who knows? And there's only one that knows. There's one that knows. And that communicates it, that this will not be fulfilled. That who knows is the same as if to say that the only one that knows is the Elohim of justice, that this will not be fulfilled. But you, the rest, there's no way for you to see it. Who knows if he will return and repent? Yahweh. And leave a blessing behind him. He says, maybe Yahweh, the day of the Lord doesn't come. Who knows? The only one that knows is Elijah, because he comes, because Yahweh sends him before him. The only one that knows is him. The rest is waiting, and it is confirmed that the world will be destroyed. In fact, even the agnostics and the, non-religious civil people, they have made a clock of the apocalypse that we're 2 minutes away. This is not a Catholic or the scientists of today. They say the apocalypse is coming now. Everyone knows that the world is ending in one way or another. It's ending. Everything is annihilated. Whether it's God or the devil or by us, everything is annihilated. That humans are sure of that at least, but actually not, because that is why we have the Elohim of justice coming. Who knows if he will return and leave blessing behind him? This is an offering and libation for Yahweh, our Elohim. What is he saying? Who knows if he comes, leaves entire salvation? Don't read about offering and libation. No. Go way past that. Something pleasurable unto God. And you know what would be pleasurable to God? What with the Elohim of justice will do. That is clear, because he designed it. It's not that Yahweh, his plans go wrong. His plans go perfectly well, as intended, because he didn't create this world to destroy. He created it, and on the sixth day, he said, well, I've created the beast. I've created the beast of the sea, the beasts of the earth, all types of bugs. I will make the best of my creation, which is man, Adam and Eve. And that is what the Mashiach represents. And he says, from here on out, he says, I give you dominion upon the beasts. I want you to subjugate them, to be the owners, to set everything in place, to give me the names, for you to set a name on them, and for you to dominate everything. Marvelous, marvelous. And he saw all that, and he said, this is very good. So then even the beasts are very good. You have to straighten the beast. And what is the beast in the end of it all? The beast is the conjunction of people and the indoctrination that they have, guided by the brain of the leaders and of Yahweh. Yeah, that has to change and lead the beast, to guide it to be a beast, but a productive one, of the one that produces justice, and that is what the Son of Man will do. He will not annihilate the beasts. That would be the wrath of God. It's also prophesying there who would cut its head off. Oh, but of course, in Genesis 3:15 and 16, it says, speaking to the serpent, which is him. Very few people can understand that. I don't know if you understand it even. It says, speaking to the seed, it says, I will put enmity between you, the serpent, which is him, and his seed, and between you and the seed of the woman. Precisely. And it says, and your seed will bite its shank, or rather its heel. The serpent shall bruise its heel. Exactly. I place it the way it should be because it's a parable that people know this backwards. You will bruise its head and it will bruise thy heel. In order to be able to bite, you have to have a head. Right? But Yahweh places everything so that it's not understood by anyone. I'll give it the sense that it needs. It says, the seed of the serpent will bite your heel, but the seed of the woman will crush the serpent. Who crushes the serpent? The seed of the woman. And who's the seed of the woman? It is precisely the Mashiach. It's everything that we're studying. Crushes the serpent. Symbolically speaking, the serpent is Yahweh, crushes the effect of the serpent. But Yahweh wants that. Absolutely. Even a meat offering and a drink offering unto Yahweh your Elohim. Blow the trumpet in Zion, sanctify a fast. Interesting. That about sanctifying a fast. Call a solemn assembly, gather the people, sanctify the congregation. Assemble the elders, gather the children, and those that suck the breasts. Let the bridegroom go forth of his chamber and the bride out of her closet. Let the priests, the ministers of Yahweh, weep between the porch and the altar, and let them say, spare. Very interesting with respects about what we're going to study next Shabbat. Spare, O Yahweh, thy people, and give not thine heritage to reproach, that the heathen should rule over them. Wherefore should they say among the people, where is their Elohim? Obviously, everyone is saying, where's the Elohim of justice? What do we care about? Where's the other Elohim? He does everything wrong. There's no wrong that doesn't come by his hand. He says it, not I. This will not be fulfilled. It gives you some hints. Maybe the day of Yahweh will not be fulfilled. Who knows? He says, who knows? And what follows now definitely will not be fulfilled. Even though it may seem very beautiful, it will not be fulfilled. Because it's the same promise made unto Noah. If you are faithful unto me, I will save you, and it will annihilate the whole rest of the world. I want you to understand that. If you don't understand this, that I've just said, this principle, you will not be able to understand what I'll read now, and you'll think that it is beautiful. It is not beautiful. It is a deceit of Yahweh's. It is a candy given just like unto Noah. Noah, make me an ark, and I'll save you, your wife, and your 3 children, and the wives of your children, and I'll make a new world. It's a candy. You want that candy? Yes, just give it to me. Well, then go into the ark, and I'll kill everyone. Noah entered, taking that candy. This what comes now. It's the same candy. And the people that do not know what justice is enters just like Noah, and they covet this, and they say, oh, how beautiful, Yahweh will save us. It isn't so. It isn't so. Yahweh doesn't come to save anyone. Either the Elohim of justice saves you, or there's no salvation for you, period. This will not be fulfilled ever as the way it is written. Unto Israel, Israel loves this. It is salvation only for them. Not just Israel, but those that self-identify with Israel. It could be the Israel that it's the Israel that believes they're the Israel, or the Christian peoples that claim to be Israel. Either way, because death for the rest. So then it says, and Yahweh, jealous for his land, not for this land, but for his land of Israel, for his portion, shall have pity on his people. Whom does he say that he'll have pity on? Upon his people. I don't want him to have pity on his people. Now, let me repeat this again. I could care less about the forgiveness from a murderer that has never shown justice and that wants to come and forgive anything which the people do not need to be forgiven of. It's kind of like if I went to go to medicine and make them place in me the best, or for them, well, not to go, but to take that medicine, even if I don't want it, and for me to put in me the whole treatment against the crab, and for afterwards for me to have to go and ask to have to ask the medicine to forgive me for having used this, which destroyed my health, and I died, and I am to blame. It isn't so. I don't know if that was the best example, but I thought that it's valuable. Let me repeat this again. Humanity does not owe Yahweh anything. Yahweh owes everything to humanity. So much so that that was the reason for which he had come to die, for his own sin against humanity. He didn't come to die for the sin of humanity, but rather because he gave us to humanity. If it weren't so, if it weren't the sin that was programmed in creation, don't misunderstand me, but if it weren't for the lack of justice and the wickedness that he placed in us, he didn't have to die. He didn't have to die. If the one is the blame, if we're to blame, then all he needed to do was for him to forgive us. But the one that had to forgive and make atonement for his own guilt, all the guilt of every single sin that has every human has ever committed, has to go back to the head of the originator of evil. If you don't understand that, then you cannot work and understand what the Elohim of justice is. If I justify Yahweh, then I'm no longer the Elohim of justice. The Elohim of justice says, every fault, every sin, every bad decision, everything that the atrocities that humanity has done has to go back unto the owner of it all, and that is Yahweh. That is justice. So then Yahweh came to die for his acts, which is part of the creation, but not for your sin, as if the faults were of ours. He tells Israel, you are to blame. No. The Father is to blame. If you've got, in another case that I'll give you, a father that sexually rapes his children, and afterwards he makes his son understand that he was to blame. It was his fault. And it was his own fault that he excited him or provoked him to that. And so then when the son is older, he has to kneel down before the rapist father and to ask him to forgive him. That is what the image of Yahweh unto humanity. There I found the very best image Yahweh must have given unto me. A rapist father and a son that has been raped, kneeling, asking to be forgiven due to the faults of the father. There you understand, in the greatest expression given by a human being, the relationship of Yahweh and the children. We have been raped by him in every fucking aspect of the word, psychologically speaking, physically speaking, in life, and he ended up taking away our life. Not just is he a rapist father, but a murderous one that took life away from us, took out of us the best, took us out of the best place, cursed us in every curse that's ever been, and then afterwards we have to go and ask him to forgive us for our fucking faults. That is the problem of Judaism and of Christianity. But it is written, and next Shabbat we shall study it truly, where is the fault and where the fault, the guilt has to befall. Only this could be understood by the Elohim of justice. That is why Yahweh says, I give you the title of Elohim, and your Elohim gives it to you, because you have loved justice and you have abhorred wickedness. So then, I do not need, nor does any human being need, the forgiveness of Yahweh. Yahweh, jealous for his land, Israel. This is what the Jews love, and those that think they're Jews will have pity on his people. And Yahweh shall answer and say unto his people, behold, I will send you corn and wine and oil to you, and ye shall be satisfied therewith, and I will no more make you a reproach. Make you a reproach among the heathen. Oh, who placed him as a reproach? What a son of a bitch dad. It's as if he were to say, come to your father. He will no longer rape you. The time has come for him to no longer Daddy will no longer rape you. But come ask and kneel before me, ask me to forgive you. And while you're down there, give me a little bit of oral sex there on your knees. And humble yourself up the ass. Because you are a son of a bitch. And if I raped you, and if I killed you, it's because you deserved it. Repeat it. Yes, Lord. Why am I going to forgive you? I am saved by grace. Because the blood of Jesus covers me. Wow. It's all backwards than what you have taught us. That is why the Elohim of justice will be the true Elohim of justice, because there's never been any justice in this world. So then, this dog shit I'm reading is believed by the stupid idiots, the followers, and the people that is willing to kill for Yahweh. They say, unto us, he'll forgive us, he shall forgive his people. And Yahweh will answer and say, unto his people, I will send you corn and wine. I'll no longer make you shit-starve yourselves to death. Yes, I've killed you, I laugh at you. But not anymore, not any longer, and ye shall be filled with them, and never again shall I make you a reproach among the heathen, like I've always done. I've sent you many times over and over, just like the NASA saying, I'll never again lie to you about the moon landing. The moon was a lie, yeah, but now I will go into Mars. You think we'll believe him? I won't lie anymore until you. NASA says, what? Go fuck off to your fucking mother's cunt. It is the same thing when you know the truth of Elohim. And you say, and you think that I want to kneel before you and ask you to forgive me? About what? You're the son of a bitch that has to come and kneel before me and ask me to forgive you. He did so by dying. He did so by dying. I want you to understand that. He did so. That is the reason of his death. He didn't come to die for your sins. No. He came to save for his own sins. Who understands this? And Yahweh shall answer unto his people, behold, I shall send you these things. I'll send them to you. He tells Abraham, come, and I'll take you to a land. It makes him get to the land and says, oh, now there's a dry spell. What the fuck? A dry spell. Where do I have to go now? Then go to Egypt. Go to Egypt. But what should Abraham have done, who was the king of the idiots? You made me come from Ur of the Chaldeans, who was a precious city. I loved it. Tell the truth, I'll confess to you, it's not in the Bible. I'm in telling that for you. Tell the truth, I loved of the Chaldeans. That's why I lived there. And now you brought me to this dog shit place, and now you say that it's a dry spell. You think I'm an idiot. I must be a fucking idiot next to you. Man, what the fuck? Who are you speaking to? Either you kill me right now, or you make it rain in a minute, you son of a bitch. In a minute. I won't have the patience of days to see if I have 7 days to see if I see local. No, you son of a bitch. You brought me your fucking promises, and you tell me there's a dry spell here? I mean, no, but what did Abraham say? Well, you brought me out of my land, out of my kinship. Lech lecha, I left everything for you. And now I'll go to Egypt. And there they're going to take my wife and make me a cuck because I'm so afraid. And say, oh, I'm going to say it. She's my sister. She's my sister. That's the way I am. Yahweh would just laugh his ass off. And when they were about to cuck him with his wife and says, I'm going to send Pharaoh a little dream. But nobody thinks, who the fuck cast that dry spell? No, nobody thinks about that. The devil thinks, oh, no, I understand. I forgot the Lucifer factor. The devil, it was the devil that caused the fight, the great conflict between good and evil. God says, I'll give you a beautiful land. Devil says, no. Oh, send them a dry spell like there's never been. It says like never been before. So then it is the war. No. Those are stupid shit. Absolute stupid shit. He always made our life impossible. Yahweh did. And then it says the promise. The promise says, I'll never again put you in reproach with the heathen. Oh, it was you son of a bitch that... Well, yeah, it was I. That's why I promised to never again. Just like that, I promised to never again lie, to never again kill, and never again rape you. I promise, okay? I promise. But you made us rape our women. When the Babylonians or the Assyrians, they would come and rape and kill. Yes, I did it. But from here, no more, okay? And the people say, okay, that's good. Don't you understand, you stupid idiot? The army that wants to destroy does not understand. And I will remove far off from you the northern army. Who's the one from the north? Babylon is clearly, that is what the Bible calls it, the northern army. We'll drive them off and kill them all. They say, oh, how beautiful. I'll drive him into a land barren and desolate. And his face toward the east sea. And his hinder part toward the utmost sea. And his stink, the stink of Babylon shall come up. I will destroy it. And its putrefaction. Oh, how beautiful. That is the just God. That is the same God that sent you to them and raped you and killed you. And brought you down. And now he promises that he's going to destroy it. We don't want that dog shit. But they do want it because they don't understand. They don't comprehend. They don't know the Elohim of justice. And their putrefaction shall go up. For they've done great things. Babylon has never done greater things than those that Yahweh did. From the get-go. Babylon is an angel, a little angel next to Yahweh. Fear not, O land. There's no need to say that. Be glad. The land of Israel, mind you. Careful. These are promises for Israel. Fear not, O land. Be glad and rejoice, for Yahweh will do great things. We don't care about the great things of Yahweh. Yahweh will not do great things. Yahweh has already done great things for 6,000 years. He's done great things. And the last thing that he has to do, and to stop fucking around, I'll say it with your words, that Yahweh rested. And Yahweh rested on the last day. It says, and Yahweh finished his work on the 6th day. He saw that it was all perfect, and he sat back to rest. Oh, yes, a great big applause for Yahweh to rest on the 7th day. But I've said it with different words. Yahweh, stop fucking around with your great works. If you're getting to the 7th day, go to the asylum to rest already. And that is why, for that same reason, we don't want him to do anything else. We want him to rest. It says. So then, what is Yahweh going to do? It says as follows. It says, land, be ye not afraid. Be glad, for Yahweh will do great things. We no longer want the great things of Yahweh. Be not afraid, ye beasts of the field, for the pastures of the wilderness do you spring. No. The beasts of the field. We don't want the pastors to wilderness again for them, and then for us to go and kill them and to kill each other and go and stay. No, there's going to be a change for the tree beareth her fruit, the fig tree and the vine do yield their strength. Be glad then, look at the promise to whom the children of Zion, and rejoice in Yahweh your God. For he hath given you the former rain moderately, and he will cause to come down for you the rain, the former rain, and the latter rain in the first month. Wow. He had interrupted even the cycle, that son of a bitch. He says, he promises to give him the latter rain and the former rain. There was no artificial rain. Now we could give a fuck if the rain comes in time or not. We'll do it. If we wait for God to send us the rain when the wheat is ready, we are fried. Because we, what? Starve to death. So then what men do with electrical pumps, we get the water from wherever place and we bring it from wherever in the desert. We don't need God's help because he comes with all his help, but with armies of animals and bugs and plagues and everything. That's his army. We fight against that army of God, and we make out of a desert, make an Eden, Garden of Eden, and says, wow, man, now get so much food because or else we could not feed humanity. But it's not thanks to God. It is not the manna spilled in the floor. It is thanks to the technology of Babylon of man, which tries to help one another for the foods to be a lot cheaper and that we can eat them. And so then it is the best kingdom. It is the glory of all the kingdoms. Don't thank God. God sends his army to destroy always. He has an army like how? Of locusts. An army of what? Of what the worm has eaten. That's his army. And all the plagues that come to my house. I plant a fucking lettuce and the next day it's all bitten. And I want to just kill the whole world. Of the bugs, that is. The whole world of those bugs. So then it says, it reads as follows. It says now, wow, he must laugh at what he's right. It says, and ye also, sons of Zion, rejoice in Yahweh, your God. For he hath given you the former rain moderately. Oh, thank him, thank him. He says, thank him that he gave it to you moderately. Why do we have to thank him? Because I gave it to you moderately. Huh? Did you give it to us before? I didn't give it to you. Or not moderately. And now we have to thank you that you gave us the first rain moderately. We have to kneel down and thank you for that. That you stopped causing our life to be a curse. He must laugh at what he writes. It says, what else does he say? It says, and he will cause to come down for you the rain, the former rain, and the latter rain in the first month. Like in the first month, what first month? Like in Bereshit. Bereshit, it was a little clock. What was it interrupted? He says, I took out the batteries and the timer. And now I'll make you lose everything. But now, be glad, because I'll make you return us in the first. No. An intelligent person says, no. Don't touch anything else. Just don't touch anything else. Go to the asylum and rest. There is something called the Shabbat. It says that God rested from all his work. I love it. What's it say? God rested from all his works. And who shall not do justice? Oh, it's not that God, precisely. He will rest. He will rest. Of how many hours? Of all his works. I find that to be excellent. That is why it is the Messianic time. There's a reason why it is the millennial Shabbat, the greatest thing that there will ever exist. That time, when God rests of his works. So then the floor shall be full of wheat, and the fats shall overflow with wine and oil, and I will restore to you the years that the locust hath eaten. And why are you going to restore the years that the locust hath eaten? Well, because the one that taketh away restores. A thief restores. It's like my neighbor comes and says, look, Christian, I took that from you and I broke it and now I have to restore it. Why do you restore it? You owed it to me. Yes, I owe it to you. So then what does Yahweh say? What does Yahweh say? Read what it says. It says, I will restore to you what I stole from you. I will restore the years that the locust hath eaten, the canker worm and the caterpillar and the palmer worm and the fucking bitch that bore you. What is that called? My army, Yahweh says, my great army, which I sent among you. What a son of a bitch. Now you dare say, now I will restore because I have the army of this little fucking bug and bitch that bore you. I'll send you to eat all your harvest, but now I'll restore it. You know what the Mashiach says? Don't restore shit. It's no longer your job. Go rest. If somebody will give, and not like a restitution, but as something new, is the Mashiach. Because the Mashiach doesn't know anything to humanity, so then we don't have to restore. It will restore what Yahweh did. That, yes. But the debtor is not humanity, but Yahweh owes humanity. You understand what I'm saying? The debtor is not humanity. Humanity is owed 6,000 years of life, and the Messiah is life, and life in abundance. That is what the Mashiach is. If you do not understand this, we used to read Joel, and we used to say how beautiful we want for Yahweh to come and restore. We don't want Yahweh to restore shit. What he did, he did. We've learned it. We accept it. It is creation, and I find that to be okay. But from here on out, what he has to do is to elevate to the throne of Elohim someone else. That person will bring everything which Yahweh will not ever bring. I'll read on. It says, I'll read this because it's fun. And I will restore the years, 6,000 years, that the locust hath eaten. And to top it off, he names them. He names him the son of a bitch. The cankerworm, the caterpillar, the palmer worm, my great army, which I sent against you. And ye shall eat in plenty, and be satisfied, and praise the name of Yahweh your Elohim, that hath dealt wondrously with you. And my people shall never be ashamed. We don't want for Yahweh to do any more marvelous towards us. We don't need that anymore, because now what he promises here, it's a lie, because he knows it's a lie, because it's a part of the day of the wrath. It is a promise like unto Noah, get in, the promise unto Moses saying, let me destroy everything and I'll make a new people out of you. But what he's saying here is that he has ashamed his people. That is why it says, never again shall my people be ashamed. And who ashamed your people? I did. Yahweh. And ye shall know that amongst Israel I am I, and that I am Yahweh your Elohim, and none else. And my people shall never be ashamed. Okay, precisely that is what we don't want. That's why I tell you, watch this subject over. And you have to watch everything that I've said. In the end of it all, when we read all these things, to live with Elohim as our God, he's saying, you will suffer everything that you suffered, because in the very least fault that you do, you will once again go through everything that I've made you go through. Everything. Something that I don't like, that I consider, everything will go back to the very same, from Adam and Eve and everything that has happened. So then the answer is, if the day of Yahweh comes, the salvation of a very few comes, those very few will suck on his socks, as in per se in Argentinian, or to kiss up to someone, however you want to say it, to kneel before that Elohim, so that Elohim can say, good, I raped you 1,000 times over, killed you, but now I'll restore what I've stolen from you, and you will be thanking me. And I will live with you. None of that do we want. Not even for him to live with us. Because everything goes with everything. If the day of Yahweh comes, a people is chosen. That group that is chosen gives all the glory to his God, and could care less, or understands that everything came from him. And so then he says, you now are my people, and I'll live with you. If this avoids the day of wrath, what we also avoid is the government of Yahweh. What he's saying about living with us is to rule. For Yahweh to rule. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I've told you last Shabbat, I don't want the government of Yahweh ever again. Never again. He could come and visit all he wants, but to come and rule, no. Because or else the Son of Man, who receives all the land, says, did you give it to me or not? What type of inheritance is this? What am I, a simple servant of yours, Which, when you give a command, I have to follow it? No. You either give me the land by inheritance or I want anything. Either you give it me by inheritance and you can come and visit and all that. But your government, is no longer here. You're no longer the only Elohim, because that is why you anointed another Elohim, which is the Elohim of justice, and who has the right to do justice when they've never done injustice. But you who have done injustice and have done all this whole creation, I know that I'm saying this so you comprehend it, but he doesn't even care about coming to live with us. That is the truth, because to live with us is to rule us, and it is to limit that brutal Elohim that he is in every aspect of the word. So then I'm speaking in a very special way, so that you comprehend his plan is not to come here, to resignate himself to live here. It isn't that. It is not to rule. He wants this civilization to give it over to the Son of Man. That is what the Mashiach exists, or else the Mashiach would not exist. So then, none of this will be fulfilled. Also, neither the last part. Now read it again. Pay attention. And ye shall know that amongst Israel am I. We could care less. In the midst of Israel and the world will be the Mashiach, not him. The main figure is the Mashiach, not him. And that I am Yahweh your Elohim. No, you will be the land of the Mashiach, and it will be the Elohim of all the earth. And there's no other. Yes, there is another. That he himself places. That is why your throne, oh God. So then there is another. Do you understand or is it too deep for you? If there is a day of wrath, it is because there's no other Elohim. The Elohim of justice is not there. Because if the Elohim of justice is not there for the day of the wrath, if there's no Elohim of justice, then there's only one Elohim, which is entire destruction. So then it says, I destroy everything. You're my people. Follow me. We'll kill everyone. And I'll come and live with you after all that. And everything that I stole you, I'll restore it. And that's it. That's it. And that's it. It's over. Now, if there's an Elohim of justice for the day of the wrath, for all the things that he wants to do, then there's no destruction, and also there is no government of his upon the earth. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because the Mashiach does not come so that he comes to rule. No. It's not what the prophecy says. The prophecy says that the Son of Man is given a kingdom, glory, and power upon all nations. How many? All nations. And if it's all nations, there's no other God for the earth than the Mashiach. He owns everything. There's no other owner above him of the earth. No. You've got God, which is the God creator, but he's not the God director or guide of the earth. No, absolutely not. Because that's why it is received by the Mashiach, the Son of Man. Yahweh tells him, take the blueprints of the earth. Now you own everything. Here are the scriptures of the earth. That's it. And if you can comprehend it, and if not, then there's no need for me to make an effort for you to understand it. So then, that will not be fulfilled ever. Next text, which the Christians love, and it is complete stupidity. It is a lie, an epic lie. An epic, I've never understood it, and I've said, why the fuck is this here? It bugs me, but oh well, it's written, and we're followers of what is written, all that dog shit. And it's 2:41, wow. 2:41, wow. I started late, mind you. Well, because this subject will continue afterwards, after Shavuot, mind you. It reads as follows. This is a lie. Let me clarify this. I'm sorry if I break your vision and your dreams or your hope of something that was to happen or that you were waiting for it to happen. This is a lie. It is part of the same story. It's not that it's a lie. It's just a random story of what would happen if the Elohim of justice were to not come. And after all this, after having made you my people and destroyed everything, the land in Babylon, because he told them that he was going to destroy that of the north, putrefaction, it was make them shit. I want you to keep that in mind. After having destroyed Babylon, you, my little people, that follows me, and I come to live with you, who is not welcome to live with us, as a president or as a director or as anything. He can come and visit us. but not to live, not to guide. If you want Yahweh to lead you, this is not the place for you. Look, this is not the ministry for you. It's not it. Yahweh has led the earth for 6,000 years. If you want this, then move on to the other army and call yourself, I am the army of Yahweh. But it's not of the eternal truth. Yahweh is. Better said. I'll just go on. 28. And then afterward, after this happens, it shall come to pass that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh. What flesh? The flesh that was saved, that says Israel, that it says that little people killed Babylon. So then it says, after this, if you follow my story and you are okay with it and you follow the story, then I'll pour out the spirit upon all flesh who is alive, which are you, and your sons and daughters shall prophesy. Why the fuck do I want my sons and daughters to prophesy? That is the question. If you know the truth, what prophecy do you need? What the fuck is that about? How does the world like about what's going to happen to prophesy something that will happen? I want Yahweh to live here and to prophesy what the fuck will happen. I no longer you to prophesy what the fuck will happen. I'll tell you what will happen. Without prophesying, this world will be a perfect world, led by the Son of Man. It's all a government, an entire government, eternal and forever. I don't need for no fucking son to prophesy anything. But the people love to hear this. It's kind of like it sweetens their ear. And your sons and daughters will prophesy. Your old man shall dream dreams. I could just imagine when he gave this, he must have left his ass of what kind of a lie do I give him? Because these idiots like this, they eat it up. It says your old man shall dream dreams. Why do you want an old man? I don't want any old men anymore, starting with that. But to start with, I don't like the part about old men, but about beauty and splendid wisdom, and for every old man to be even more beautiful, not an old, ugly man. Who the fuck do I care about the dreams? Since when do we believe in prophecy? That they will prophesy. What, is God going to give them the prophecy? If your sons are going to prophesy and your daughters, who will influence that on them? God? What stupid shit is this? This has no foot or tail for us. For the Christians, they love it. They love it. They eat it up. Your old men shall dream dreams and your young men shall see visions. The young men see visions now, but they come from a different, because they smoke and they inject everything that there's ever been. And the people see vision. That is what he tried to say, but this story is so stupid. He knows it's stupid. It is for stupid people. And unfortunately, we are in a generation of idiots, and everyone believes it and they accept it. Okay, this will never be fulfilled ever, because it makes no sense. And also upon the servants and upon the handmaids. Wow, there will be slavery? Oh, what a beautiful government of Yahweh. You want the government of Yahweh? It says that there will be his sons, the Jews, and the servants. The servants are slaves. The servants are slaves. I want you to understand, those servants that he's mentioning here are the slaves of the Jews. They say that they will have 10,000 each. So then they read this and they say, how beautiful our Hashem will bless our obedient people and will bless us once and for all. And out of us, Judaism, you will have slaves, all of those of Edom. Who are those of Edom? Those who are not Jews, the Goyim. So then it says, and also upon the servants, well, lastly, about the servants and upon the handmaids, in those days will I pour out my spirit, as if to say, and also upon them. First upon my children, and then upon the servants. Who are the servants? Oh, your slaves. That is why I say, this is all dog shit. If it bothered you and if you didn't understand what I've just said, which we don't want Yahweh to come and live here. Yes, we are a wife, but we have a separate house. What did I say? We're the wife of Yahweh, and we're the wife of Yahweh by name. We'll see up until what point, and then afterwards we want a house separate. Because we don't want Yahweh to come and live with us. Because that is why the wife, symbolically speaking, the Son of Man, owns the earth. Because if Yahweh comes, he's going to want to do his own thing and he'll subjugate us like he did our whole entire fucking life. So then what we want is for the bride to have his house separate, her house separate. That's the way it is. Difficult to understand. And it goes on. This is dog shit, but it goes on. And I will show wonders in the heavens. I could give a fuck about your fucking wonders that there won't exist. There won't be such thing. It's not that I'm against Yahweh, mind you. Yahweh sent me to say this. I want you to understand, because maybe you think that I am rebelling against Yahweh. My best friend, instructor, and teacher is Yahweh. He made me understand all this. All these lies. It says, Christian, make them understand that this will never be fulfilled. The idiots believe this. This is the soap opera. It's the soap opera. That is why I tell you, I want you to pay attention, that I'm not against Yahweh. I'm just communicating what Yahweh says, actually, that this is a soap opera. And I will show wonders in heaven and on earth, blood. Just like Yahweh likes blood and fire and pillars of smoke. Well, people say, wow. And the sun shall be turned into darkness. Oh, no, obviously, if he were to live here, then it'll become darkness. That from the get-go, and the moon into blood. But of course, if Yahweh were to live with us, this would be a chaos. And before the day, the great day and horrible day of Yahweh. How's the great day and horrible day of Yahweh? But he can't say it. And whosoever shall call unto the name of Yahweh shall be delivered. This is a broken dream. It's glass. It is a lie. That salvation does not reside, nor will ever reside, in invoking the name of Yahweh. I am sorry if I broke your name, your dream. Salvation does not reside in Yahweh. It isn't so, because Yahweh will not even move a finger to save you. There is only one salvation, which is the Son of Man. He is the judge. He is the owner of it all. So then, the precept that he made up, and that the salvation is the name of Yahweh, if that is true, then start to study this, because this is the book of Yahweh, the preferred book of his. This. The salvation of Yahweh is the salvation that the Jews present to you. Because even what the Christians present to you, the salvation is not of Yahweh, but of Jesus. No Christian will say the salvation is of Jehovah. No. They'll say the salvation is of Jesus. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. No one goes unto Jehovah the Father if it's not through Jesus. The salvation, it's in the implicit name of the Mashiach, Yeshua. So then, Yahweh, that invokes the name of Yahweh, there's no salvation whatsoever, nor can there be so, because the owner of the earth and the Savior of the world and the Redeemer of humanity is the Mashiach. A Christian can understand that. It's just that they have to understand who the Mashiach is. Then it says, and it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call unto the name of the Lord shall be delivered. False. For in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance. False. As Yahweh hath said, and in the remnant whom Yahweh shall call. False. There's no remnant of Yahweh. A remnant of Yahweh means that only a remnant is saved, a small remnant, and the rest dead. That is the point of it all. And Yahweh today showed to you through my words that this is a soap opera, which the truth is elsewhere. This is a soap opera. There is no salvation in Yahweh. No salvation in Yahweh. No deliverance in Zion. No salvation, possible salvation in everything that Joel says. Because Joel, it's implicit that the day of Yahweh exists. So then if the day of the wrath of Yahweh exists, then you have to look for that deliverance. Because if you think that the day of Yahweh comes, the only one that can save you is him. If that is fulfilled, the only one that can save you is him. And only a remnant will be saved. And a remnant which in time he would end up killing. The supposed case that it would happen, would kill him because Yahweh. If he wasn't patient with humanity and killed them all and says, okay, I'm sick of you too. Didn't have patience of Israel. And told them to fuck off. Israel didn't have patience of, not even John the Baptist, didn't have patience of Moses even. And Moses, all he did was to strike with anger the rock and says, now you will not enter into my land, even if I promised you, I lied to you. I'll leave you, because I'm a great son of a bitch, for you to see it from afar, to desire it, and then I'll kill you. Wow, who said that? You know who said that. then that remnant, the only thing is that sooner or later, Yahweh would end up killing them. We don't want for Yahweh to be living with us, because this will not be, nor will ever be, the government, nor the land of Yahweh. Yahweh gives it over, hands it over to the Son of Man, his son. He hands it over in inheritance. So then, I'll move on, because this story continues. Joel is a spectacular book, but for him that has ears to see, that this cannot be fulfilled. For if this were fulfilled, no one will be left. Look at what continues to take place in this story. Same book. We were in chapter 1. Now we move on to number 3. And I'll wrap up with this. Joel 3, 11 through 15. I'll read it in the Spanish Torres Amat version. Reads as follows. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen. God speaking, mind you. All ye heathen. This is I could care less how many come. And gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, by Yahweh, that is, all your champions. Remember that Yahweh is a jealous God. Says, who's your champions, the best of you? I'll kill them all. That's how Yahweh acts. Let the heathen be awakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. Oh, we're going to do an asado there? No, you're going to be the asado. We're going to do the asado. No, you're going to be the meat of the asado. Come to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge. What? We want Yahweh to judge? This were to happen if Yahweh were to judge. That is what the people don't understand. And who judges? It says, all judgment he given to the Son. Oh, good thing. If Yahweh judges, we're back to Noah, we're back to Sodom and Gomorrah. If the Son judges, he saves it all. It says, come hither to the valley of Jehoshaphat. What are we going to do there? Picnic? Yeah, come here. There I will judge all the nations. Round about, all of them. This is what were to happen if the book of Joel is to be fulfilled. Put ye in the sickle. Whoa. Put ye in the sickle. This takes me to Apocalypse. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow. That is to say, their wickedness is great. Wow. And it continues, because they don't understand. Wickedness is theirs, and it's not theirs. It's of their father. Peoples, multitudes, innumerable multitudes, come near in the valley of death, for near is the day of Yahweh. Come to the valley of the slaughter. The sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. This is the story of Joel. With everything that I've told before, with all the details that he says, I, your God, come and live with you. We don't want that. We don't want you to either pour your spirit upon the sons that see visions, all that stupid shit. We don't want that. We don't want for you to touch the sun and the moon. We don't want for you to pardon anybody. We don't want you to leave a remnant. We don't want you to come and live with us. We don't want for you to gather the people together in the valley of slaughter and for you to be a judge of anyone. We don't want you as a judge. We don't want you as a judge. And humanity, when they comprehend this, will they say, really? We want another Elohim, an Elohim of justice. That is what Yahweh says, precisely. That's why God has anointed thee your God. Because you have loved justice and have abhorred wickedness. A scepter of justice is the justice of your kingdom. How marvelous. Yahweh says, but if you want my justice, I'll give it to you. I'm the judge. Come to the valley of death, of the slaughter, all the peoples that exist. I could care less. I'm going to kill everyone. Because this is the day of Yahweh. And the people who do not understand says, yes, come, Lord Jesus, oh Yahweh. Let him come. The day of the slaughter, let it come. I have a lot more to study upon the day of Yahweh. We will read things that are incredible, that we're already reading incredible things as it is, but next Shabbat, it is the preamble to Shavuot, and we have a very special subject that has to do with a date. I'll leave that with you inspired so that you come with lots of excitement next Shabbat in which we shall celebrate Shavuot. Psalms 78:2. I'll read it in the Jerusalem 2001. It says, "Hear, my people, my teaching. Pay heed to the words of my mouth. I will open my mouth in parables to evoke the mysteries of the past." And these mysteries were mysteries. Because what it says right there, that it says, will not be fulfilled. Yahweh, in no point in time did he desire, nor does he want the day of the wrath. He wrote it provocatively, so to provoke a reaction in everyone, and also to provoke a reaction in the God of justice. That is the end of all the creation. Without any further ado, let us wrap up with a word of prayer. Thanks, Yahweh, we give you because you speak to us directly in Scripture. What you won't do, what you threat us to do just to awaken us, the man, and what you won't do. And you also show us what you will do, which is to give the throne over to the Elohim of justice and to elevate him unto Elohim status. We hope that soon these things take place. The question is no longer where is the Elohim of justice, but rather when will you give the throne over and the scepter and the power unto the Elohim of justice. All this we thank you for because you are a magnificent Elohim, because you show us what you won't do. You show us and you write what you won't do. And that is magnificent, although for a time, and almost all the nations think that you will do it, but they will be extremely surprised. All this we thank you for. In your precious name, Yahweh Sebaot, Alleluia. Semper Fi. Let the laurels be eternal that we knew how to achieve, crowned with glory, let us live. Or let us swear with glory to die. Long live the Elohim of justice. Alleluia to every one of you.